Let's do it.
I think we're good.
Okay, so you guys find yourselves in the city of Waterdeep along the Sword Coast. It's relatively halfway between the cities of Neverwinter to the north and Baldur's Gate to the south. Further south of that is known as the Great Library of Candlekeep, a place with grand knowledge and a great deal more than the books inside. This story is focused on the city of Waterdeep, a place filled with gold, some missing, some in the hands of the folks around you, and some clearly abundant in the buildings and wealth on display everywhere. Waterdeep is known for many different things. The City of Splendors, it has festivals, carnivals, locations of grandeur and adventure. It has the Yawning Portal in particular, a location that's famous the Sword Coast over, specifically as a place where folks can come and find treasure, adventure, and more. You all came here sometime within the past 10 day, which is like their time frame of a week, looking for work, a little bit down on your luck, individually or together, depending on who you are. And you were able to take a job temporarily, as is the custom and culture of the Yawning Portal. Durnan, the owner, a human man in his probably mid-40s, you suspect, looked at you up and down, each of you individually or together with your fellows, and said, another one. I'll give you a job for now. Poured you an ale, sat you down at the bar, and listed out the rules. And they were simple. You'd have a bunk, you'd have food, as long as you gave some work. And some of you are a little bit better potentially at giving work than others, as is expected with certain adventurers. And nonetheless, you've been here, some for 3 days, some for 6, 7, trying to determine what next to do. But you are currently Durnan's crew. Those who help him, those who try to keep order. Some of you are sort of bouncers, some might be waiters, some are even helping with the housekeeping. You currently find yourselves in the Yawning Portal, the famous tavern of Waterdeep. Can everybody see the map?
It's still loading for me.
Gotcha.
Damn.
Yeah, I was trying.
Must be quite the map then.
It's a little big. It has a bunch of
It's the
tokens
same
on
one
it.
from last time.
Yeah. So you are all individually scattered around the room. Oh, sweet. Alistair's got a new one.
Yes.
Volknar, if you would like to either send me an image or if you have something, go ahead and toss it in.
I got this thing. It's not round.
That's okay. If you send it to me on Discord, I can always turn it into a token, but this works for now.
Okay, I'll probably do that after this.
Cool. I'm actually going to toss your guy right about here, sort of leaning against the back end of this fireplace, the side, just keeping an eye on the tavern. I'm just going to toss your name on here.
In the tavern, the picture I had from my guy was that I was using Mage Hand to bartend and do trick fours with the Mage Hand.
Gotcha. So you can be running drinks then as needed. The tavern itself, and I'll just describe the scene and then we'll move into descriptions of each of the characters individually. The sounds of gamblers yelling, drunken adventurers singing bawdy songs nearly drowns out the off-key strumming of a young bard. Sort of over here, he's sort of moving around, and I will just get the pointer really quick. Right here, yeah, exactly. He's strumming this lute that only has 3 strings, and it's pretty out of tune, not great. He's not even attempting to sing. He's just like strumming it, trying to keep some sort of music playing in the background. Nobody's paying attention to him. He's just doing his thing. And sometimes he'll walk around in a circular pattern. You see the Yawning Portal itself, the thing that the tavern is named after, this perfectly circular, massive, effectively a well, like a well in the center of the tavern. It's got a wall around it, 3.5, 4 feet high. It would be difficult for somebody to trip over and fall into it because of its height. But there is a wench over here, and you know that there is a platform because you've seen certain groups of heavily armored and frankly, incredibly well-equipped adventurers heading down into the yawning portal. They provided gold to go down in. Durnan himself assists with lowering them in, providing them with the bucket and the system for a rope and a bell to be rung when they want back up. So far, all of the groups have returned. There's currently no group down in the yawning portal itself. One or two of the groups may have returned with fewer individuals than went with them. And every single one of the groups, when they returned, looked battered, beaten, and told incredibly different stories. There's nobody down there today, so far as you know. So Durnan has names up on a chalkboard that he has erased and crossed off as some of the groups have returned. And at this time, there's not a lot of activity in the yawning portal. It's like, I would say, like early evening. And folk are sort of just milling about. So if you guys would like to go ahead and describe yourselves and maybe what you're doing and what you've been doing the past few days in the yawning portal, like just go down, right down the list. So, Aroth, is that correct?
Yes, Aerith.
Aerith.
Aroth. So I think for the past few days, he's been just sort of keeping to himself mostly, talking once in a while with Zeusanu Featherbottom. He's taken an interest in this place. I wonder what happens when you just like look down into the portal. What color?
So the yawning portal, you can see roughly 30, 40 feet down along the edges where the light sort of, and you can see that like in this area here where the light will sort of reflect onto the stonework, and it's a rough stone specifically, and then it turns into this inky well of blackness.
Okay. So windows down to dark. And that the whole portal is interesting, but he's mostly kept to himself. I think in terms of duties he's done, he's mostly been, I guess, kind of like a bouncer, even though he's not the strongest guy. I think he looks intimidating. He has this black cloak he wears. It's like tattered black cloak. Cloak, and it has two red eyes on either side of the cloak's hood. Crimson eyes sewn into the thing. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Aerith. Alistair.
So, Alistair, whenever you see him, it's sort of like he's just he looks like he's just hanging out, not working. Like, for example, right now he's probably just leaning against the wall, playing with his dagger. And that's pretty much like all you see. Like anyone who's like crossed him has been like questioning, like, what is this guy doing? Just because every time you see him, he doesn't really seem like he's up to like, any work. But anyone who's kept a close eye on him would be able to tell that he's sort of like snooping around and trying to get a feel for the place and the locals in general, and just sort of getting a feel for the town and the atmosphere. And the only time you see him sort of do anything is when anybody of any like anybody in charge who like owns or runs the place passes by, he might like grab a broom or like start shuffling things to like make it look like he's picking up. But it's all an act, and he's just sort of he doesn't seem very interested in actually doing work, but gathering information. And he might have approached you to ask your name and stuff, but he wouldn't really tell you much about himself.
And what do you look like in particular?
Alistair? Okay, so he's about 6'3", but he's only like 140. So he's like tall but slender. And he's got like dark hair, bright green, like emerald colored eyes, and like darker hair with like sort of like streaks that like shimmer in it. And he looks very well kept, like he's clean, and he's definitely an elf. He's not hiding that. and when he moves, he looks like he's just very well coordinated, like he could be like an acrobat or something like that, just like maybe someone's dropped something and you just seen him catch it just very gracefully and hand it to them. Like you can tell he has very good hand-eye coordination, and that's about it. But he's been very like seldom. He's kept to himself mostly.
Awesome. Cool.
That reminds
Thank you,
me.
Alistair. Yeah, go ahead.
Aerith is like a giant crow. Sure. Kind of.
Gotcha.
Like where maybe Zeusner looks a bit different. I'm very much dark feathers, black bead eyes.
Thank you both. Harold.
All right, Harold. Harold is a wizard. He looks like his token. He wears a bluish cloak. And I'm just gonna probably just read what I wrote anyway. So he's a wizard, soldier. So he's trained and been in battles and all that. He's a soldier since a young little kid. So he has the soldier mentality of like team and objective first, loyalty type of thing, and is not really scared of any danger. He feels like he's powerful enough that he isn't really scared of too many things. He has a quarterstaff and a dagger as his weapons, but he also has a spell book and uses a lot of elemental magic, fire, all the different ones, earth, thunder, ice, fire. So he's been probably reading a lot of books, sitting at the table, maybe doing some entertainment with his magic, his conjuring abilities. Probably just doing whatever's needed. And he gets his power. He has a spell book where he gets his spells. And he's not really driven by money per se, but more the adventure and the success and pride and glory of a mission more than the money. But he's aware that money finances these adventures, so it doesn't go unseen. But that's not really what motivates him. And he has little he has some crude crystals where he uses his power from, his wizard power. Rough cut that he probably found at some point. I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Harold. Victor.
Victor is a 6'1", 220-pound physically fit human. He's always hungry. He requires a lot of protein to keep his physique maintained. What else? He is driven by food, like whoever feeds him. Like that's, he's like a dog, but he's like an attack dog, so it's like, just keep him happy and fed, and he'll kill whoever needs to be killed or not kill. If he's told not to kill, he just needs someone to lead him because he's not that bright. He's not sharp. So yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of hanging out, looking to see if anybody's gonna be trouble.
Okay. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah.
Volknar.
Yeah, so like he's like a half orc. Well, let's call him like 6'2", 250.
Nice.
Big boy.
Bunch of big boys in this crew.
He's a big boy. He's been just working at the yawning portal, but just being like a bouncer type the guy. He's been eyeing Alistair because Alistair's been doing some really weird stuff. He's been sneaking around. And yeah, he wants to know what he's up to. Like the Herald guy, he's been watching him too, but he scares him because like sorcery, fucking magic, fuck that noise. He's not about that life. He doesn't understand it. And yeah, so he works with AA Roth. I mean,
A Roth.
Hey, Aeroth?
That's how Volknar pronounces his name because he's not very smart either. But
Aeroth.
That's Aerith to you.
But yeah, he thinks he's a nice guy, but he doesn't think he should be a bouncer. He's too small for it. And he looks at Victor and he's just like, that guy eats too much.
That's coming from a half orc.
Yeah, 250. Jeez.
But yeah, he could totally eat Victor under the table.
We'll have to, you know.
Yeah, have it eat off or something. How many chickens can you put down, bro? And yeah, and Volknar likes to drink when he's on duty and when he's off duty. And sometimes that can get him in trouble. Haven't figured out what yet, but maybe we'll find out. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. Thank you, Volknar. And
Volknar was also a soldier, BT Dubs, so he might get
yeah.
along with Harold in that regard. Once he's
Uh,
over his fear of him.
Oh yeah, I was looking at because there was a war that just ended. So he was in that war, and now he's not part of the military anymore.
Excellent. Okay. Zeusiner?
Zeusanu, I'm gonna go with.
Zeusinu. Gotcha.
Aeroth. Pronounced it that way and I liked it, so I'm gonna change it. So yes, yeah, I'm from the same tribe as Aerith. I'm from one of the noble houses, the House of Featherbottom. Started dabbling in warlock magic when I was younger. Decided I really liked magic, and got tired of being stuck in our mountain. I guess yeah, high up in the mountain village, and decided to go with him on his quest in search of adventure, and to further my my magical knowledge and abilities.
Yeah, you got the notice that I was like the high priest of some cult down at the bottom of the mountain. But then they tasked me with the quest we got, and it's like, why don't you come along?
So the House of Featherbottom will assist you in this quest.
Yeah, it's the feather bombs. They want their right to power. They want their boy back.
I was just interested in the adventure. I just wanted to
think-
get out of our secluded village and see the world, see some other races and get out of there. I had never left our village and just like stayed in my life of luxury.
I think in the short time that we've been at the Yawning Portal, I've been specifically like feeding like I like gather up the food sometimes after like people are done eating it, and I put it on a plate and I like feed it to Victor. I put it like at him. It is
Does he
important for
appreciate
one
this,
to
or
feed
does he,
oneself.
Victor is very grateful.
And I guess at the tavern, I use Mage Hand, and I've been like bartending and serving, like interacting with all the different people and telling stories and entertaining.
Gotcha. Thank you, everyone. I think that's everybody. We've gone around for everyone. If there's anything else that anyone would like to note about their character, like feel free to interject. But I'm actually gonna need to ask everybody to make a roll, and
Here we go.
it's going to be 1d6 to determine both the number of days and the amount of gold that you've earned, that you've worked at the Yawning Portal. So everybody gets to roll a 1d6 and add 3, except in this instance for Alistair, who will only add 1.
You got it. So I rolled it.
So is this the amount of days we worked? You said.
Yeah, so it's the amount of days and the amount of gold. They're going to be identical in this
What was
instance.
it, a D6 plus what?
Plus 3.
Alright. So Zoo got a 6 altogether.
And
Okay.
I should logically I should work as much as he did, right? Like
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. You can roll 1 die for the 2 of you.
So that's a 9 for us.
Alistair, the reason that you have worked, or you are being paid less, is due to Durnan's stinginess in regards to your work ethic overall. So regardless, what did you roll in this instance?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you have worked 4 days, and yet he has only paid you, in this instance for like, a little bit less than that.
Alistair's not bothered by it.
Okay.
He doesn't even know what this money business is.
He's just looking for his next scam right now.
Nonetheless,
Keep an eye on that one.
you all find yourselves in the yawning portal. Another night, more gold, thinking and wondering what your next quest will be, or maybe your first adventure in this instance. When 5 individuals enter the tavern. The first is a heavily tattooed human thug guy. He's bald, and the tattoos go all over his head. And he and these 4, I don't know, there's 4 banditos essentially, enter directly behind him. Ya pig! Like killing me mates, does ya? He's 7 feet tall, and he strides directly up to this half-orc woman and smacks her on the back of the head. There's 4 banditos following, and so they entered quite quickly and immediately ran directly up, and they're sort of like surrounding this individual at this point. Durnan, who had his back turned to the bar, over behind the bar, turns around, faces the bar, is just kind of watching, seeing as it happens for a moment. The human man with the tattoos, as you all sort of turn and the music even stops, you notice that his tattoo is a eye shape in some sort of weird way with 10 spokes coming off of it. The half orc, a woman, stands up off of her seat, and you see that she's even larger than Volknar. 7 feet tall.
Oh,
She
geez.
cracks her knuckles, roars, and says, "Oh, have at it, you scum." And the two begin to grapple and wrestle, and it spills towards the bearskin rug over here towards Harold. And they sort of crowd
Stands
around.
his ground.
Gotcha. And he'll
Alistair would
come over
sneak
here.
next to. Is this the owner here?
Yep.
He would sneak right up next to him.
Okay.
Volknar's getting a little closer to see what's going on.
Several of the other patrons do the exact same sort of thing where they begin to gather around. Some stay quite far away still, but others are interested in the scene. And so there is a group basically gathering around at this point. Would anybody like to do anything?
Alistair would just like lean on the owner and just whisper, "Is this a problem, mate?"
And Durnan kind of glances at you. He goes, let's see. If it begins to get bloody, maybe we should step in. And you can see that as he's saying this, he's actually putting his hand underneath the counter, and you can see a glint of metal of what is clearly the pommel of a sword handle.
Volknar's gonna go up to the bar. He's gonna be like, "You want me to stop this?"
And the first few punches begin to land between the two of these individuals, and the man who's the bald human male is yelling, "You Xanthars need to stop killing the Zents. You got to stop it." And they're like just starting to slug each other, and they're like not even like they're not boxing. They don't have their hands up around their faces or anything like that. They are just throwing punches into each other's sides and face and wherever they can hit.
Now Harold's just trying to figure out whose side he's on by trying to listen in on trying to figure out what's going on and pick a side. He's
Make an
confused,
insight
but he's
check.
standing his ground.
Alistair would wave over Victor.
Go ahead and make an insight check, Harold.
Let's see, insight. That wait a minute. Why is it not here? How about invest? Wait, where's insight?
Should be a wisdom one.
Don't bloody the rug.
Oh, insight. I'm sorry. That's right. I found it. Oh, nice. 23.
Okay. Okay, so you actually are able to glean quite a bit of information based off of the individual's appearances, the things that they've been saying, and things that you've heard, whether here in the tavern or around the city, as you've been spending your free time every day. You know a little bit that from gossip from the city guard that there is some sort of gang war happening. And you recognize the tattoo on the bald man's head. Is that representing the Xanathars? And he said something about you Zents. So there's the Zents and the Xanathars. And you suspect that they are on the opposite sides of this gang war that's been happening. You suspect that that's now spilling out of the streets and into the tavern. So that's your understanding of this situation.
Okay.
Does it, has Harold gathered that one of particular groups is more unjustified or thuggish than another, or are they kind of like everyone just kind of is who they are individually? Does one have like a reputation of being like lower kind of
Are
gang, like
you?
Is there
Yeah.
a good gang and a bad gang?
yeah, like is there one that has like a reputation of like, oh, those guys,
Are you from
or are they just
Waterdeep?
kind of no, I'm yeah, Harold was in the
Quick decision.
yeah, he is
Okay.
big city guy.
Okay. Being from Waterdeep, you would know that both of them are traditionally not great. The Zents are actually known as the Zentarum, and they have changed hands a few different times, but they're effectively sort of like they're less of a traditional gang and more of a gang of mercenaries who can't find work and therefore use their skills to sell swords and do less legal contracts than they might otherwise. Xanathar's guild is traditionally known as the actual criminal syndicate within the city, but both of them are not typically this bold. And whether it's by claiming who they are, or fighting in the streets against each other, or fighting in taverns, like this is highly unusual, highly unusual situation.
Right, well,
Yeah.
Harold is definitely Team Zent. Might
Victor.
even want to be a Zent at some point.
Okay.
But so that would be so the big guy is a Xanathar, right? With the eye tattoos.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
Xanathar and Zent, right?
yeah, Harold's
Yeah.
just gonna watch.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Featherbottom would have gone up to the table and grabbed an unattended beer that was forgotten in the tumult. Just kicked back and drank his beer and watched to see if he had to step in to protect the boys.
Gotcha.
I will see no more violence. And Aerith steps up. And Xanathar is the one who's like who has like the upper hand?
Make a perception check actually for that. Since nobody's interjected yet, I just need to make one check.
I roll a 10.
You think it's an even fight momentarily, but it's quite clear that the half-orc woman has the size, has the strength. She could probably put down the Xanathar.
Okay, so like he's basically asking for he's losing this fight eventually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the spell command.
Using a spell right off the bat.
I want this fight to end.
Burn him if you got him.
While this is happening, I want to pickpocket this old guy.
Which old guy? Oh, this old guy right here. Okay. Please make a stealth check. Command. While the stealth check is being rolled, let's just double check that. So, what are you? Who are you going to command, and what are you commanding them to do?
I think the Xanathar man with the eye on his head. I'm gonna command him halt.
Okay. Let me make a wisdom saving throw. He failed. I rolled a natural 3, so he's definitely going to fail that.
Damn.
Which means your spell takes effect, and he stops hitting the Xanathar. And the Zent sort of like turns around and looks over your shoulder because she saw the spell and goes, "I would have beat his ass." And all the Xanathars are like, "Hey, or cut, don't do that. Stop that." And as this is happening, something strange occurs. There is a creature that begins to fly up, and you hear its fluttering wings fly up and out of the yawning portal. And everyone sort of stops and looks at this creature. And then there's a second flying up out of the yawning portal. And a third. And you realize that they are coming after something.
Whoa.
A hairy, large, 8-foot troll that crawls up the side of the yawning portal,
What the fuck?
causing the patrons to flee. And so this is where I'm just going to have patrons begin to flee. Everybody, please roll initiative.
Oh shit.
Pickpocket.
Did you get him?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What did you
damn.
get for a stealth and then a sleight of hand roll, please?
All right. I got a 15 for the stealth, and then I'll do the sleight of hand. 22 on the sleight of hand.
Damn.
Okay, so I got an 18 on the stealth, so somebody's going to end up seeing you. And if they
God.
feel it, they definitely don't feel it. So you're going to be successful with the individual. Let me just see who saw that, if they actually give a shit. Go ahead and roll 1d12 as well.
You got it.
They will not give a shit. Okay.
I got a 1 on the 1d12.
Okay, so you're able to pull 3 silver and 1 gold from their pocket.
Also, how much
Yeah,
gold
what
did we
get per day for working?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, whatever you rolled plus 3.
That's
Three.
so gold. Whatever that is
So,
gold.
so we got 9.
Yeah.
How do you show how much gold you have?
It's in your
Go
inventory.
to inventory and then currency.
Where the fuck is inventory?
It's in like
One of the
the
star
main
tabs.
block, big block
Remember
on the
where you're
right
looking
side
at
of your page.
actions? It's
Yeah.
to the right of actions.
2 over. It goes
Inventory.
action, spells, inventory.
Oh,
Then
it doesn't go spells for Volknar.
So when you're in the inventory tab, the top
Yeah.
right, it says currency,
Yeah.
and then you click that. And that's how you can add or subtract things.
Okay. So
I
rolled
mine has me starting with 10. Did we start with 10? And this is extra, or is this what we're starting with?
This is all extra.
so what did I roll?
7.
I rolled a 3, so that means I get 6 gold.
Correct. The only person who would get less would be Alistair.
So was all I got was 1, or did I get
It was
Got
the
3, I think.
the d6 plus 1.
Okay, so then I think I got 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Let me check the
Roll the
thing.
4.
Yeah. Okay, 4 more.
Alright. Harry is going last on initiative, probably. Real bad roll.
Really?
I rolled a 1.
3.
Oh wow, maybe I'm not.
but I have a +4 to initiative, so it's still not
Damn.
terrible.
Might have beat me though.
Alistair, we have pretty high.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Harold with a 3. Maybe you are going last.
I rolled a 5 on initiative. How am I high? There's no way.
I think I got the second highest here. Or no, third.
Victor 17, Volkner 16.
Sorry, say those again, actually. That was useful.
Victor 17.
Okay.
Volknar 16.
Okay.
Aroth 9. Zeus 7. And then I got a 5.
Harry has a 5.
It says 3. You got a 5 though?
Well, I have a +2 to initiative.
Doesn't it
Why
add it
didn't it-
automatically?
Yeah. You rolled a 1,
Did
man.
you roll a
Yep.
Oh,
1?
yeah.
Then I got a 3.
Yeah, you rolled a one
Paying
like me.
attention already.
What are the things that fly after it?
So
Evil monster
modifiers.
pricks.
No. I fly. No, I'm talking about the creatures in game.
Or
Oh,
evil monster pricks.
we'll find
Yeah.
out. I won't worry about it
Well,
until we.
Yeah, we're not supposed to know unless
Yeah.
we're supposed to know.
if you know, you know. And then it was Zeus 7. Okay, so first off, you do recognize the large creature as a troll. That's pretty clear to everybody. They are spoken about pretty regularly in the Yawning Portal as one of the typical monsters that adventurers might actually face. And so the troll got, oh, damn. Well, the troll sucks.
This map is to scale, right? It seems
Yeah,
pretty close, if
yeah.
not. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So while we're setting up too, all the new guys to Owlbear, you can do the measuring thing over on the right.
Yeah, the measuring tool.
The little
Oh yeah, how do you do that?
Click it, and then
so
you.
you click on the triangle thing, and then you click and drag. So like obviously start at your token, and then you can drag, and it'll tell you how much.
Yeah, how far away
Oh, I
something
see.
is.
And you have your movement speed on your character sheet.
It's very
Yeah,
important
yeah.
for people with spells.
Yeah, also for spells. Yeah.
But yeah, movement
Range,
definitely
spell
too.
range. but
Is this a
movement too.
grid?
It
There
is, yes.
is not on this, but I can potentially put one on
I mean,
here.
there's one in the background.
Yeah, I
is
think you
how-
can overlay it, but some maps just have it built in.
How do you overlay it?
I'm not
I
sure,
just
but
did it.
I think you can do it. Yeah,
There it is.
see.
Look at that.
Oh, that's neat.
There we
So the
go.
Takes
characters
away
should
my
fit in the
immersion.
grid.
I don't mind taking it away. It doesn't, you know what I mean?
No,
We can
I
use
don't
the
care.
drawing tools or we can use this. It doesn't matter to me.
Whatever
was
works
just
for you
joking.
guys.
Yeah, we can leave it on to start just to get used to it, and then maybe we'll get rid of
Sure.
it.
So first and foremost, we have Victor. What would you like to do, Victor?
Yeah. Well, Victor was just watching those two people fight, and that got him in the mood where he's really itching for a fight because like he was pretty jealous that they
Sounds
got
like
to
a
fight each
bow
other.
wow.
Yeah. So he's going to give Volkner a nudge and ask if he wants to fight Troll with Victor.
Fuck yeah!
All right. And then Victor is going to so when we're doing combat, are we moving our own tokens or are we telling you what we want to do and then you moving them for us?
Have at it. You have control
All right,
of your own
cool.
token.
So Victor, assuming he can actually do this, is going to run forward, jump up on the table, and then do like an epic jump off the table and try to like attack the troll.
Love it.
Volkner's following right behind him, but he goes around the table.
You gotta make sure. You also gotta make sure you're like measuring your movement.
It was
Well, you gotta wait
25.
VGK
Oh, okay.
because we rolled initiative. That means we go in a specific order.
Yeah, you go right after me, so it doesn't even.
D&D is turn based.
Okay, well, yeah, he nudged me.
Yeah, well, that
No, I
was,
know.
you know,
Volkner is watching him
Yeah.
jump on the table and attack the troll.
yeah.
Trust
You
me,
can
he's just trying to make sure you
you
guys
can-
are homies and going in together.
You can talk out of turn. Yeah, for sure.
So, oh yeah,
Victor, what kind
so,
of weaponry you got?
I forgot to roll my, okay, so Victor's going for his longsword attack, and he gets a 19. He's pretty
That's a
happy
hit.
about it, all right. And it is a slashing maneuver. We're doing 11 damage,
Hot damn.
and it's my first time playing this character, so I don't even know what my other options are. So bonus action, I don't.
Do
So
a
what?
Sparta kick.
What are like? Is that even an option? Can I kick it back into the hole? I don't even like.
So I'm gonna
What-
say that would be like a probably like a shove or a push attack, which is generally ruled as a full action, a part of your like attack action.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't even. Once I get my maneuvers, this would be a great time for that. But yeah. Assuming I can't do anything else, we have a shield, so we're just kind of like, I gave him my best shot. Now I'm waiting for him to give me his best shot. Kind of a.
Gotcha. And so you all see Victor run up, pop a nice slash upon this troll, and some of the ichor from the troll splays out, and you can see that these bat things, there's actually one or two crawling across the troll, and they begin like going at the wound on the troll and like drinking its blood from this troll. Um,
Icky.
at the same time, Victor, you also notice because it's a troll. This is well known in the Yawning Portal from the stories. It begins to heal as you slash it. It's a pretty fast healing creature. Go ahead. I believe it is now Volknar's turn.
Um, yeah, so I just saw Victor run up there, and I saw like the little flying things start licking it. He was a little weirded out about it. So he's just like, I just want to kill those fucking things. So he's gonna like run up and attack a flying guy.
Cool. So that's going to be at least 2, 3. That's at least like 15 feet of movement, I'm going to say. So that's plenty for that. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Um,
You gotta roll the
do I
the
do
hit,
the hit
hit first.
DC?
That's
Yeah.
a hit. Oh, dude.
That's
You
You already
critical
crit?
hit.
He
Okay.
got a racial ability where he gets another dice too.
What?
That's
Wow.
amazing.
So do I click the dice again?
No.
So
Or
Click
do
the
I,
now you
damage
do
button.
the damage one.
And you get another one too.
and another damage?
Not the same roll. I think it's whatever. I think it's another D12.
yep.
So the
So
custom to
on
the bottom left.
bottom
Okay.
left dice thing, find the one that says 12. It's the second one from the top.
You probably already killed it, but this is just for funsies.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you see these creatures, and this one's like flapping around, and as you watch one of them that's on the troll drink the blood, you are horrified and disgusted. So you rush right up, side by side, and you're like sort of pushing this elven figure out of the way. I'm actually gonna move him because he's like, oh dear, oh good lord, and he sees your axe, and you just whip this thing, and you don't actually hit it with the sharp side of the axe. You use your axe like a baseball bat, and you slam it, and it flies all the way over across and hits the little wall here of the yawning portal and just falls down. And it's like you smashed a bug against a windshield, frankly.
Nice.
So
Although
real
I'm a
quick,
little-
now that VGK got a kill, are we gonna keep track of kills this game?
I don't even.
Rolled,
Is there anything we want to keep track of?
Faulkner,
Eh.
his first attack.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that.
Is impressed.
Okay.
Harold's impressed with what he saw out of Faulkner.
Volkner's also upset because he thought that was a woman and he thought he was going to be looking good. But it's
Oh,
really just
Oh,
an elf.
the elf.
Now
It's
that
a
he got closer, he's a little upset.
very
Oh,
dainty.
jeez.
Do you think all elves are women? Is that is that
That's
lore?
racist.
Go ahead. It is now okay. The Sturges will attack, and they will immediately begin going for these characters here. Let me see. Natural 3 is
That's
gonna miss.
funny. I actually thought they were like good guys.
These
I was
guys?
laughing. I was no the little things, and I was
The
laughing.
evil
that Volkner
flesh
attacked them.
monsters.
These
Yeah, I
guys
got
are
the vibe that they
Sturges.
were chasing him in a bad way, or in like
Why were they licking him and healing him?
they were like attacking him.
I don't lick things that I don't like.
Very true.
So unless either Volknar or Victor have an AC under 10, you are both safe. They sort of flap around you and try to like dive in at you, and like one of them bounces right off your armor. The other one, you dodge it pretty easily. So they are effectively useless this round, which then brings us to Aerith.
Yeah. Okay. I think what I'll do. I use another spell slot, but that'd be overkill. How hardy does that troll look?
It looks pretty beaten up actually. You suspect, based on what you've seen, that a lot of the Sturges have been drinking the blood of the troll and have attacked it en masse. And so you believe that it's kind of beat up.
Okay. Does it look like it's gonna stick around? I don't know. Is it like it's coming up to the portal, so it seems like it was
Yeah, and
trying to
it's like,
escape these things, right?
yeah, and it's like on the lip of the portal, standing on top of the wall of the portal at this point.
Maybe homeboy just wants a drink. He's thirsty.
Oh, homeboy wants some mead, dog.
Does anybody speak troll?
I speak deep, in goblin.
You might speak troll.
Oh, no, Elvish.
I think I'll use my cantrip. Let's see, chill touch.
Sure.
It's you roll that. So a giant skeletal fist appears out of nowhere and smashes the Sturgis in front of Volkner.
Okay.
But we'll see if it actually hits. So does a 18 hit?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that does 3 necrotic damage.
Okay, so this ghostly haunted skeletal hand emerges from your holy symbol and reaches out and takes the scourge, and it can fit in the entirety of its hand, and it grasps it, and you can see the scourge sort of struggle, and then everything all like across the scourge turns black, and it falls to the floor dead.
Okay, so that 3 killed it.
Did.
Oh, they're weak.
Go
Surprise this troll had
ahead.
trouble with them.
Well, it is the troll's turn, however.
Yikes.
And it is going to move between the two of you and take a few strikes. It is in a bit of a dire situation. Volknar does a 16 hit.
Does that depend on what my AC is?
Correct.
Yeah.
I have 15.
So this does hit.
Oh no, Volknar!
You will take 6 points of bite damage from the troll. Victor does a 13 hit.
It does not.
Okay, and how about okay, that's a 23, so that's going to hit, I assume.
Yep.
And you're actually going to take, you will take 8 points of damage from the troll with its slashing claws as they slash across your armor.
Alright, it might be time to use a spell on the troll.
That was the troll's turn. Zeus, what would you like to do?
So I'm gonna put my beer down on the table, pull out my crossbow, and take sight at the troll and let fly. Ugh, with an 11.
An 11 actually, does that hit?
Oh, it hits?
No, it does not hit.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just double checking. Yeah, no,
Damn,
so
giving
that
him
misses.
hope.
So it misses and hits one of the lanterns hanging from the ceiling. Just pings off that and thuds into a wall.
Gotcha. And Doran's like, careful, which is appropriate
Sorry.
it is now
Still learning how to
Durnan's
use
turn.
this thing.
Durnan leaps on top of the bar with what is a long sword that he pulls out from under the bar that one of you had seen from beforehand. 4, 5, 6. And he will go straight up to the troll. And he will take a few attacks on the troll really fast.
Man, he ain't messing around.
Oh yeah, he's not fucking around. This is his bar.
Do we get extra compensation for troll killing?
We'll talk about it later. He actually gets a critical hit on one of these.
Ooh.
And
Dang.
he rolled a 1, a 2, and a critical hit. Natural 20. Actually does only ends up doing no wait. Okay, so he actually does 20 damage to the troll.
Jesus.
And he will be like, oh, fall back if you're too injured. We're gonna get this thing down into the hole if we have to. And that will be his full turn. Alistair, what would you like to do?
I'm I'm torn. I'm torn between actually helping or trying to do something sneaky here. I suppose seeing the guy who runs the bar jump in the fight, Alistair has to keep his reputation. So he'll also run in and try to do a hit on the troll. Let me see my
I
troll
swear
die.
I'm helping. I swear.
So he'll run right up here. And going for the hit.
Okay.
Big money.
12.
12, it does not hit. So you sort of go past, ignoring the Sturge. You slip past this elf who is now like running, like sprinting for the door. And you go around, try to get around between Victor and Volknar, and you stab through them essentially towards the troll, and you miss all three. Which then brings us to Harold, what would you like to do?
Harold is going to. He's gonna Ray of Frost the troll.
Okay.
For another nat 1.
Oh man. Sadly, the Ray of Frost also nearly hits a lantern, and Durnan's like, just support us. Don't shoot all the lanterns down.
We're trying to run the bar, not ruin it.
So Harold tries not to look like embarrassed that he missed.
Gotcha.
Zoo catches Harold eyes like, I feel you, buddy. It's okay.
Okay. So the one thing that happens that several of you who are close by catch the attention of quite quickly. Troll's wounds begin to knit and heal, and you can see it getting stronger. This does bring us back to the top of the round, so I do believe we're back to Victor. Yep.
All right. So,
Get it, Vic.
well, Victor probably wouldn't survive another one of those hits. You know, he doesn't.
Volker screams at Victor to stop being
All
a
right.
pussy and attack the troll.
All right. I'll go for it. I'll go for another
But
thing.
what is the Sturgis doing? The Sturgis isn't doing anything. They don't even get a movement.
Oh,
So
they
we're
did.
doing 8 damage.
Yeah, they terribly missed. And you did 8 damage on the troll or the Sturge?
The troll.
Okay.
Is that 21 his life or?
This is the amount of damage that you guys have dealt to the troll. I don't mind like giving you like certain pieces of information because like you can just figure that
But
out
we don't know
yourselves.
how much his health actually is.
Correct.
It's just how much damage he has at the moment. So we
And
get to
so,
see how
like-
much he heals, right?
Yeah, so you get to learn like that piece of information. But yeah, there's certain pieces of information like I think you should just have as players, and that's one of them.
Thank you.
So, Victor, you specifically slashed at the troll, hit it again, and you begin reopening some of the exact wounds that you had created from beforehand. Is there anything else you would like to do? Movement, anything like that?
Yeah, I have to stay. I don't want to take attack of opportunity, so just gonna chill.
Okay. Volknar, your turn.
All right, so I don't really know what's this whole rage mechanic.
Rage allows you to gain certain basically bonuses, especially in melee combat, that will let you do more damage. And so it can be highly useful for up close and personal combat. Let me see. I can send you a link on it too.
It looks like you
Should
also
be-
get damage resistance too.
Yeah,
should be
right.
in his player character too, right? Oh,
Yeah.
he's not in the campaign. You're not in the campaign yet, bro. I
He
can't
is.
see
He's
it.
in the
Yeah, yeah.
campaign.
Oh,
I've got him in the campaign. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
huh.
I mean, I just got bit. I'm pissed. I'm gonna.
There you are.
So I
Gonna
guess I
raise
just
up.
click a rage box.
I'm upset.
I'm gonna click a rage box.
Oh, right there. Yeah. So
And I'm
yeah,
gonna
you get
swing.
two. Yeah, you get 2 charges of rage per long rest.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll
You
last
are
like
now
the whole
free.
fight,
Advantage on
basically.
strike check. Yeah, plus
Yeah.
2 damage.
Okay. Is that gonna?
You're gonna do more damage and take less damage. So that sounds pretty dope.
All right. So I'm gonna roll my great axe.
Okay.
Do I add the 2 rage to that? So it should be 20.
You only add that to the damage, I believe. So
Oh, okay.
so your roll to hit
It's not a
was an
bad thing.
18. That's more than enough, and you're attacking the troll, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now roll the damage and you'll get plus 2.
I don't actually think it added that +2 to it. He rolled a
Might
3 and it added the 4 from his strength. So you get an extra 2 on top of that 7. So you do 9 damage to the troll.
Okay.
Level 1, 9 damage is very good.
Yeah. Dropping 9 damage on that guy, that actually brings. And if you want to move or anything, you can do so. But like Victor was saying, if you move out of range of the troll, will have the opportunity to attack you while you move away from it.
Which could suck hard being at our level.
I guess I'll just stay there. I want to be in his face. It's like, you bit me, you motherfucker.
Okay. Which brings us to the Sturge. And the Sturge will come here for Alistair. Let's see what I roll. I rolled a natural 16, so an 18. Does an 18 hit Alistair?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And because the Sturges are terrible, you are only going to take. Wow, okay. I got max damage, so you got 7 damage from the Sturge.
Ouch.
Ooh, I think that would kill me.
Yeah, I'm at 2 HP now.
Gotcha.
I get 7. It's funny.
This troll's gotta go down.
Sounds like
Eric.
that Sturge does too, or else it's gonna kill Alistair and Harold.
That Sturge has
Be a
like
short
2
campaign for
HP.
Alistair.
Aerith, what would you like to do?
Alistair showed up for one session,
What if-
robbed an old man, and then died.
So poison,
Karma.
Right?
yeah,
Got killed by
poison.
the weakest bad thing in the whole campaign.
So poison, does it like doesn't that like stop things from healing? What does it do?
Do you have? Is it like a spell thing, or is
Yeah,
it
I have a ray of sickness, and if I were to cast it, and it failed the Constitution saving throw, it would be poisoned. So what does poison do?
Gotcha. Poisoned is a condition that causes disadvantage on ability checks, I believe.
Okay,
Attack rolls and ability checks.
I had something that prevented heal, but maybe not. Maybe I should just go with guiding bolt because that thing is strong as hell.
Yeah,
And gives
4d6
people-
at level 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Clerics are great. Yeah.
My clerk's amazing.
All right. Yeah, I think I cast guiding bolt,
Sweet. Roll up the attack roll.
which for him looks like a red bolt, like that flies out of his holy symbol, which is like a moon with a skull in it.
So that's a ranged attack roll for it, I believe. Yeah, there we go.
So 20.
Dirty 20.
hits for sure, right?
Yeah, roll up that 46.
9 could have been better.
Those
Harold,
some
or
painful
Aerith,
rolls.
how would you like to describe your kill?
Okay,
Ooh.
okay. I
Freaky
think
Birdman gets a kill.
so. So he has his holy symbol in his hand. It's like the chain of it is caught between his like claw fingers. Uh, and out comes the red bolt. It flies into the troll's head, and just it like lights it on fire, and it just keeps going. Like it's just like burning with this bright fiery light. It just keeps burning down the troll's head until there's just a bloody stump as it like collapses forward, probably on top of Volknar, Alistair, and Trojan, this dead troll's body.
Can you guys just give dexterity saving throws so it doesn't like actually fall on you?
Get out of the way.
Victor, you are fine. You're able to step away. Same with you, Alistair.
Where's dexterity throw?
So
That
Top
would
left
be-
Saving.
box.
Left. Yeah, it's
Says
in the
saving
left
throw.
box. Saving throws.
One says
Okay,
dex.
everyone's talking at the same time. One
Sorry.
person,
Well,
please.
listen to all of us at the same time then.
Top left.
It's that easy.
Saving throw box. One says dex.
This?
That's
Yep.
no, that's different, but it's probably the same. Slightly different.
I think it should be the same
In
roll.
this instance, it's the same, yeah. And so you also are able to step out of the way of the troll, and it does not fall on you, but you all like, go back just a little bit here. So the troll is dead, which just leaves the Sturge, which Durnan. Oh no, I'm sorry, Zeus. You are actually next.
Zeus.
Feather button.
Oh, sorry. What am I rolling?
Feather bottom.
It's your turn.
It's your
turn.
turn.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
there's
the
still
only
that thing left.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll after I see the troll go down, I'll turn my attention to the Sturge, and I will cast Eldritch Blast at it
Okay.
with a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, 2 damage.
That's actually their HP.
Yeah.
And so you knock this thing out of the air, and it like smacks against nearly another lantern, but it hits the ceiling and falls down dead.
We can't
so-
afford to lose another lantern.
That is all of the enemies. So we'll drop back out of initiative. Durnan, standing there, looks at all of you and goes, "Oh, mighty fine work." And at this point, all of the patrons have like left. They've just all basically left the building. They're not screaming, leaving, and running, but you know, it's not great. Considering that monsters just attacked the bar. And Durnan says, I guess if the lot of you want the night off, that's acceptable. You've more than done your work, and screw it, Bonnie. Let's close the bar." And you see this woman you've sort of been working alongside. She goes over and closes the doors and begins locking up. There are a few folks left. They either like run out as like Bonnie's like closing up, except for one, and he sort of lingers, and you see Durnan sort of eyeing him. And the rest of you guys, is there anything you would like to do?
I would like to high
Alistair-
five Victor.
Victor reciprocates in the high five.
The handshake?
The hand.
You
He'll
guys
do
do
the
the
hand.
hand-
Well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay.
We just met, so we'll just firm. A nice little high five.
Nice.
Not
Feather
epic
probably,
handshake yet.
Feather probably would want to turn to the crew and ask if they want to go, open up a keg of ale to celebrate their victory.
And
Kick
Durnan's
back and
like,
relax.
Durnan says,
The
"Oh,
whole keg.
Drinks on the house for sure after that little escapade.
Featherbottom throws his hands up in the air. Well, there, that settles it, boys.
Alistair
Harold.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say Harold walks over to the railing and looks down, like he knew that what just happened wasn't like normal, and so he looks back down and was like wondering if there's anything else down there that shouldn't be.
Go ahead and make a perception check just to double check.
18.
Okay. Nothing that you can see, but you can see that as you're watching the area, Dernan sort of runs over to the bar, and you can hear him do something behind the bar. And as that happens, you see that from each side there are. It's effectively like a cap to the well that from underneath, about 10 feet down, begins sliding into place. And you hear like an elevator type mechanism basically like moving these caps in place. And he's like, well, might as well keep the portal closed for the rest of the evening. I don't think anybody's going to be coming up anyways by the looks of it.
Yeah,
And he's
Harold
like,
nods in approval of the shutting of the portal.
gotcha.
Like, good
And,
idea.
and Dernan
Ooh,
begins giving you
I
guys
can
tankards of ale.
fly out in the middle and watch it close. I keep forgetting I can fly now. I'm gonna fly out
Oh
in the middle,
yeah.
watch it close, just cause I can.
Okay. And it closes, and you see as it closes, there's like a latch that like automatically falls in place and locks it essentially, like it's like a stall door latch effectively. Um, and so the yawning portal is now closed. The bar is essentially empty except for this one individual who's sort of lingering nearby, leaning against a chair, book in hand, and he single-handedly begins applauding you. Goes, "Adventurers, well done, well met. How incredible! What a group! Dernan, you always have the most daring adventurers in your bar." And Dernan kind of looks over and he's like, "Volo, get the hell out of my bar." At this point, Volo sort of puts up a hand, but oh, good sir, I must speak with this group. Well, you see, I'm in need of some services if you'd be interested. Please. And he like points over to the table sort of near the fireplace. He's like, please come this way. If you would, may I have your ear?
Give me a moment as I begin to like cut off a hand of the troll.
Harold
I'd,
shrugs
I'd
and takes a seat at the table.
I'd fly over to
Alistair,
the bar, grab a tray with a drink for each of us.
yeah, Alistair grabs a couple drinks, hands them to Volknor and Victor, and then says, "A couple drinks for the lads." And then he gives them each a silver and says, "A couple meals on top of that. You guys earned it."
Well, Victor was ready to eat the scraps off from the customers that had ran away. But he'll accept actual fresh food. Yeah, Victor's never drank before, so this could get kind of weird. Just saying.
Well, he gave you each a silver.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
letting.
added that.
Who's gonna mop up all the troll blood? It
And you
tastes
can see
sweet.
Vernon's
Made
like,
quite the mess over
I
there.
don't worry about that. Bonnie and I will take care of the troll. And you can see that like they're like looking around and they're like trying to figure out how to just basically get it up over the wall and onto the portal, like into the portal, so that like when they reopen the portal, it'll just fall. But
Volkner
otherwise,
sees them
like,
struggling, and he takes initiative and he throws the troll into the portal.
give me a strength check. You're actually able to like. It takes you a few moments because you have to like lift the torso first up onto the wall, and then you like pick up the legs and like lob it all over, and then it lands with a big loud thump onto the wood. But you actually get it over, and Jernan's like, "That's one way to do it. Oh, thanks." Bonnie begins like running drinks back and forth. Dernan like puts them on the bar, and she runs them over to you. So they're just going back and forth the drinks at this point for you all. If you would like to sit down.
I'm
Volkner's
using
gonna take a
my
seat.
mage hand to help bring some drinks over for the lads.
At this point, Volo kind of stares you all up and down and goes, "Well, that was quite the situation, have we not? Look, I'll get to the chase. I could use your help. My name is Volothamp Geddon, chronicler, wizarder, celebritier at your service. I see that you've noticed some of the violent air of our city as of late, between, the brawl between the half-orc woman and the rather tattooed gentleman. Hmm. I've not seen so much blood since my last visit to Baldur's Gate. But, well, and this is where I need your help. I believe I've misplaced my friend. And what with the air of violence in the city, I'm quite worried of him.
What do you mean by misplaced?
Fair question, fair question. And he's like got his hands out in front of him, almost apologetically at this. Uh, my friend's name is Floon Blagmar. And, well, we went drinking one night, and you see, nobody's heard from him since. Um, he's a rather good-looking man, more beauty than brains, and I do worry that he took a bad way home those nights ago when we parted ways. I would, yeah, go ahead.
Can I roll insight to like see if he's telling the whole truth?
Yeah, absolutely.
24.
Uh, you definitely believe that there's something missing from his story. You don't know if it's nefarious or not, but you suspect that he's leaving out bits and bobs for sure.
Okay.
Look. I can give you, and you know what? I'll do it now. And he pulls out a bag of gold and he puts it on the table. And he goes, "Look, I will give you each 10 gold pieces right now, up front, to begin in this investigation. And if you find Floon and bring him back, I mean, you could bring him here and he would be safe. It does not matter. As long as you bring him to safety and then notify me, I will give you each 10 times as much as this." And he begins doling out piles of 10 gold dragons. And you
You
know
notice
from.
Alistair wasn't paying attention this whole time until now.
I'm going to send you guys something in the links. It is a descriptor of the coins of Waterdeep.
Oh, I already read about these.
He was literally just like playing with his dagger, just like flipping it around and then like sharpening it, and then the gold comes up and he finally turns his head and starts listening.
Gotcha. So there is a link to the coins of Waterdeep. But so you know that the gold dragon is specifically the term for what is effectively a gold coin in Waterdeep. And they're kind of strangely shaped in comparison to like a normal circular coin. They are technically some sort of like four-sided um, semicircular
An
on two
hourglass.
sides. Yeah, an hourglass is a great way to put it. And so he stacks 10 of these each and pushes them over to all of you along the table. I promise, 10 times this if you bring Floon back.
Alistair's like, "Who's this Floon?"
He's a good man. He, well, you see, I've been having trouble writing lately. I'm a great famous writer, and Floon and I, well, he took me out on a night at the town, and he's just an old friend from.
Alistair like waves his hand. He's like, "Description, mate."
Oh. And he begins describing this male human, which is a handsome human male in his early 30s with wavy red blonde hair. He was dressed in princely garb when Volo last saw him, which was 2 nights ago. And he and Floon were drinking and merrymaking at the Skewered Dragon.
It's a mouthful.
The Skewered Dragon is in the dock ward.
All right, so he's down in the docks. And what kind of nefarious people do you think might have taken him to start this investigation?
Volo doesn't actually know. He does know, he will say this, that there has been a bit more crime in the dock ward than there is usually, and he believes, from his understanding, that it's potentially related to the gang war.
What if we bring him back not so fine? What if he's not alive anymore? Not saying that
And-
we do that to him, but if he has died before we found him.
And so at this, surprisingly, you hear Durnan pipe up, and Durnan's got like a dirty rag, and he's just like wiping a glass over and over and over with it. Those of you who have a passive perception above 15 will have noticed that he's actually been doing this the entirety of the time. He's not actually cleaning anything. He's listening to this quest request from Volo, and he pipes up and goes, "Not the way adventuring contracts work, Volo, and you know it. You got to pay them if they do it or not, dead or alive." And Volo goes, "Yes, yes, yes, yes. That's it. As Durnan said, but please, please, if you can find him alive, bring him back alive."
Okay.
Alistair nods.
We'll try and find your friend, Floon, whoever this is, and bring him back alive.
Oh, excellent. Please, please. And again, he's like handed out the gold. He's promised you 10 times as much as that. Several of you, however, are quite beaten up. So what I'm going to say is go ahead and take a short rest at this time. Like
Yes.
this conversation results in a short rest.
Okay.
And we can take a 5-minute real world break as well. Probably a good place for it.
What does the short rest do?
Short
Gets
rest.
you HP back.
Yeah. For
Mine
certain
didn't.
classes, it can get you spells back. So if you're like a wizard and you use Arcane Recovery, or the Warlock, you can get some spells back. But clerics do not.
Harold does
I
have
don't get a
arcane
spell.
recovery.
Oh no.
I didn't use any, so.
Gotcha.
Was my health supposed to automatically go back to 15? Or do I have to
No.
click the reset HP charges?
How many
So for
dice
a
do you get?
for a
It's
short rest.
it gives me 1d12 plus 3. I guess. Oh,
Damn.
so then I click. Okay.
Did you even get hurt during the fight?
Yeah, I took 6 HP.
Okay.
Ooh, you got max health back.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you got 15 HP back. I got 3.
All right, I'll be right back as well.
But I have a much smaller health pool, so
Cool.
3
I'll
is
be right
actually
back.
pretty good for me.
What's your HP?
9.
Oh, even I have higher HP. I have 10.
Hmm. I'm hoping to find some sort of armor or something.
Sucks that I don't get my spells back.
Are you still here, Lynch?
Yep. Present.
When does the rogue stuff kick in?
What do you mean?
It's
Like,
2 or 3 where I start to get the cool stuff.
well, you get your archetype at 3, right? Your subclass.
Yeah.
So that's So 3. That's
Is the bonus action stuff at level 2 though, right?
I mean, it's a very long time ago since I played like level 2 Nacho. So
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't choose Alistair for combat, so I'm glad to get out of it and get back to other
yeah.
stuff.
Well, you know.
Volknar opened up with the fucking crit.
Yeah. It's a good first roll.
Yeah, too bad it wasn't on the troll.
Yeah. When you did, I thought it was agreed we were attacking the troll, and then you
Dude, I got
audibled.
freaked out when they started like sucking on
You
him.
audibled on and Victor. You know.
When
I
they
mean,
started
that'd be pretty
sucking on
freaky to
'em.
see.
I didn't want to see that again.
Well, I don't. Wait, is Volkner is he a coward?
Ooh.
Volknar
that-
served. He served in the war.
I'm smelling some coward.
Damn.
Yeah,
I said arm wrestle. Arm
I don't
wrestle
know.
right now.
This is look. This is
Oh.
Each you give a strength check.
this is an out of character
See who wins the arm
conversation, but
wrestle.
we will be having. Obviously we'll be having arm wrestling at some point, but when it's appropriate.
Oh yes, yes. So we have to arm wrestle.
Let's just so happy he's got another burly boy to hang out with.
Yeah.
Harold's a loner that sits by himself.
Oh, and Victor does speak orc, so I made that a thing.
Trying to
Oh.
think of why Harry's into this adventure.
A little side
Probably
conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the most
Probably-
practical. It's the most practical language they would speak.
Practical in the world of D&D.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking elf who can teleport. And that's
I'm
I
just-
thought about doing that too during that shit when I got hurt, but I decided not to.
I'm just a weird bird who wants to go on adventures.
And so you guys are
Overly friendly and trusting, and just wants to go on an adventure and do exciting, fun
I
stuff.
like to eat body parts.
And he's a little embarrassed by his cousin, the giant
What do you
crow
mean?
who licks up dead bodies.
I love it.
and so you're having beers at this point. Or is everybody back? Are we good?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so you guys are just having beers, and Durnan brings out some essentially like charcuterie plate for you to feast upon. And he sees how quickly Victor and Volknar pound through their food and brings out like a second and a third.
Oh, Victor's
And so you
pleased.
take enough time to gain some energy back. Feel rejuvenated and refreshed. Specifically, those of you who had taken a few hits. Looks to me like Alistair, you in particular, are still a little low. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nonetheless, you've been somewhat rejuvenated, and Voldo goes, "Please, I beg of you. I think time is of the essence at this point. Anything you could do to help begin investigating this tonight would be most appreciated." He kind of looks at you all imploringly.
No time like the present. And Harry stands up.
Zeus spreads his wings as he stands up. Well, boys, I didn't have any other plans tonight. Let's get investigating.
Yes, there's nothing better
Alistair
to do in
stands
this
up.
town.
Alistair stands up and like tucks his chair into the table like all in one motion. And then it's just like, well, better now than never.
Yeah, Victor
Who knows?
would
knows
ask
what
who they're
about the
killing.
dogs?
We're not killing anyone, Victor. Calm down.
Alistair slides over, puts his arm around Victor. He's like, that's yet to be seen, my friend. Follow us.
That
Okay.
chance that you.
Cool. Volkner
You're
gets
right.
up, grunts in approval.
Yeah, he's
You guys are
intrigued.
creepy. Featherbottom says as he glides over the door.
It's like it's the different spectrum of Chad we have here. We have like just the straight meathead fucking Chads, and then just the weird edgy
Volkner
fucking
picks up a,
Batman voice Chad.
The hot topic elf.
Volkner grabs chicken left over from people that left, and he's eating the chicken as he leaves.
Aerith gives him
Also,
a funny look.
Alistair's been pretty banged up this whole time, but he's been doing his best to try to hide it.
Yeah. Is that why he's walking so slow?
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think if
Like up until this point, like every time you've seen Alistair move, it's been like maybe the most graceful you've ever seen anything ever move. But now he's like moving slow
Victor. Oh, so wait. So
and carefully.
yeah. So we don't see Victor like in pain.
Alistair.
Alistair, sorry. Yeah, because I'm thinking Victor was
Do
gonna
you
ask.
think-
Well, anybody who's kept a close eye on him could see that something's off, but he's just he's playing it off like everything's cool.
You
Volkner
think-
can't take the weight anymore. He goes over to Alistair and picks him up.
Yeah.
wait, do you think
Alistair-
earlier if
Alistair
Aerith
would just like try to like fucking dodge him. He wouldn't want to be picked up.
Damn.
He's
Nah.
wiry.
I
He
could
didn't say he asked you if you wanted to be picked up. He said he
Yeah.
picked you up.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta the roll if you want to just straight pick me up. What would we roll
Roll to
for
pick
that?
me up.
It would be a grapple check technically, so that's a
Okay.
like an opposed strength check.
Oh god, I'm gonna fail this.
Well, so you can
Is
use
it
your
You
strength
gotta
for a
do a deck
strength or is it
save.
like a
Deck
saving
Oh
save.
throw?
no!
yeah, you can use your acrobatics to dodge it if you would like.
Okay.
I rolled a 10
Like
strength.
like the skill or the save?
The save. So
Okay.
if you're gonna attempt to pick him up, it would be the 10, and then so you totally dodge him without issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Volkner's embarrassed.
Yeah. Victor sees this and chuckles.
Like you go to grab me and I just
Gets
sort
a
of
good
I just like you know when like a wide receiver's running with the ball just spins off you, I just do that when you try to pick me up.
Move.
You hit the B
Uh,
button.
Right,
Harry
fellas.
shakes
Let's
his head like he's
let's get out of
embarrassed.
here and
Like
get going. Let's go
because he's all
investigate.
professional. This is embarrassing to be part of this group.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
It takes us this long just to walk across the bar.
So during our downtime, could I have tried to heal Alistair? Would he have
You
let me?
could have
You
if
want to
you
do
would.
some spells? No?
Well, no. Like
Used
I
all
just
his spell
I have a
slots.
medicine. I can roll medicine, right?
So medicine does not necessarily allow you to heal hit points, except in like
Oh, okay. So it's okay. It says you can stabilize a dying companion or diagnose an illness. Okay. I
yeah.
thought I could use it to just heal.
I've been trying to hide the fact that I'm hurt. So
Everybody's trying to.
Yeah, but you're probably not good at it.
Alright, so
Anyway.
Featherbottom opens up the doors and steps
Okay.
out into the
Yeah,
city.
Who's the leader?
Boy
Like who's our
Scout.
guide? Feather bottoms.
We don't have one yet.
Two birds. Well, I'm saying who's taking charge.
This is why we need one of us needs to learn message cantrip. So we can have one of us
Well,
flying
normally
boys.
during
So
this I might sneak off and do something solo, but since I'm hurt, I'm gonna be close to the two brawny boys.
I think theoretically we've been here the longest, right? Me and Featherbottom, so we're probably at the head.
Okay.
We know our way around the city.
Aroth fucking totally killed that troll, so I mean,
Let's follow
Oh
him.
yeah, that too. Everybody saw that in Alistair will not forget. We have a laser bird, laser chicken.
Oh, laser chicken.
Featherbottom
Okay.
already knows that his tri-mate is badass.
So you step out of the yawning portal, and you step into the relatively warm night air of the summer evening. And so the sun has now just begun to fully set. And you know, specifically Aroth and Zusu, you, or Featherbottom, excuse me, you are currently within what is the castle ward. And the castle ward is around the castle of Waterdeep. But in particular, in this portion of it, you sit quite below the castle because the castle's sort of up on a bit of a plateau. And beyond that, you can see the griffin to the west behind the castle, sitting up on the hill in Waterdeep. The other notable things in the area, just double check this. The other notable things in the area would be Mother Selinka's House of Pleasures, which is next door, as well as the Empty Keg, which is a traditionally dwarven rowdy beer hall. Down the street is the Red Owl. It's known as just being a like welcoming, unimpressive, comfortable gathering place. But past the Owl is Snail Street. You know that if you go south along Snail Street, and you don't have to go very far, it's only about 2 blocks, you get into the dock ward. And on the eastern side of Snail Street is partially the trades ward, and then it just quickly becomes the dock ward. And just if you basically head south along Snail, you come to Fish Street. Beyond Fish Street is Ship Street. And so the dock ward is pretty expansive along the harbor, the Deepwater Harbor. And so that is probably the general direction you would at the very least start going. Go ahead and give me, so the two of you in particular, since you've been here longer, go ahead and provide me with history checks to see if you know where
No.
the tavern is.
12.
Skewered Dragon. And Harold, if you would like to, you can also provide me with a history check since you are a
7.
Waterdavian.
You guys aren't seeing the rolls just refresh.
Say that again.
My thing stopped showing me like the rolls, so I just had to refresh.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm just letting
Okay.
the boys
I
know
got a
if that happens to
17.
them.
Zusanu and Aerith, you do not know where this tavern is. You know where the dock wards are. Harold, you think you've heard of this before, actually. You know that the Skewered Dragon. Skewered Dragon. You think you've heard that the Skewered Dragon is somewhere off of Snail Street and kind of near Zestro Street, Fillet Lane, and Net Street. And so you begin pointing that out to everyone to head in the correct direction.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I let everyone know. And I guess at this point, Harry is going to also cast Mage Armor. Should last me 8 hours. Should
Cool.
last me the night. And
Nice.
then he's going to don his hood and kind of quicken his pace and take the lead of the group and lead the group to where he thinks the tavern is. His memory.
Zeus News gonna flap his wings and slowly circle the group and follow them.
Okay. And are you flying in particular?
I don't know if I'd want to be flying the whole time. No. Because once we got out, I'd stretch my wings, circle the group,
Gotcha.
and then get back on the ground.
Okay. And you do so. You actually had a run-in towards the beginning of your time in Waterdeep when doing this, because it surprised several of the Griffin cavalry who generally patrol the skies. They asked that, if you do such a thing to keep it short, and you follow their directions, I assume, unless otherwise you would like not to. And mind you, it was just one of those things where they suddenly saw this creature leap up off the ground and flap into the air, and it was quite surprising to them. And you were quite surprised to find that they were quite interested in, your general movements. Nonetheless, you all begin heading south along Snail Street. You pass several different things. Sleepy Sylph first. Gallagher's warehouse, a large wheelhouse, right along Snail Street. And just shops, homes, apartments, and the like. Until you get to the corner of Fish and Snail. Snail continues to the south, and Fish Street continues back to the west. On the corner is the Night and Shadow, a two-story tavern. Appears quite shabby, and you can see that is populated by individuals of a rather shady-looking demeanor. They're lingering outside, lingering inside, and you can hear glasses shattering. You also notice that next to the Night and Shadow sign is this strange sort of serpent-esque symbol, like that's been like branded most likely onto the wooden sign. So it's still like dark black. Continuing along Snail Street past this area, and mind you, there's more folk out, sailors going back to their ships or people going about their business for the evening before returning home. As you turn a corner, you find yourselves on a street that's been cordoned off by the city watch. Lying on the cobblestones are a half dozen corpses, seemingly the victims of some terrible skirmish. Watch officers have disarmed and arrested 3 blood-drenched humans, and they're in the midst of questioning witnesses. one of the officers who's having the area cordoned off, notices you as you sort of turn the corner, and he kind of looks at you and goes, "Move along. Go back down Presper Street." And he sort of points back the way you came. And so he's like pointing you like in a different direction down the dock ward.
Do we have to go through here?
If Harold's still leading the group, he's going to defiantly ignore the gesture and approach and try to ask what's going on. They don't.
Volknar approaches the bodies, looking for a red, blonde-haired human person in their 30s. Does he
So
find
the-
anything?
So the two of you can begin to try to approach the officers that have the area cordoned off. And as you begin to approach there are about a dozen officers here, either dealing with the scene, surveying the scene, 6 of them dealing with the 3 individuals who they are currently cuffing and holding on the sidewalk, another 3 examining the area, and then one of them actually runs over and begins to say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! We can't have any citizens in the area. Please, please listen to the officer and move along." And you can see the bodies. Let's see. The bodies don't appear to have any red hair. They just appear to be. So funny enough, one of them is a gnome, one is a dwarf, and one is a human by the looks of it. And so there's 3 dead bodies, and you have these 3 individuals, all human, who are being apprehended by the watch.
What's going on here, officers?
No citizen's business. No citizen's business. Crime wave. Recent crime wave activity. Move along.
Oh, well, anything we should be concerned about?
No. Just gang wars. I mean, if you've read
that
any of
sounds
the.
concerning.
Oh, I mean, just keep your nose clean. Stay away from certain bars. And you can see him like looking back up the Snail Street towards the Night in Shadow, in particular. And you should be just fine.
Yeah, well, what group hangs out at that bar?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The officer sort of cocks an eyebrow and gives you a look and goes, "Look, you can move along and let us do our job to help continue protecting the citizens of Waterdeep, or you can sit here and waste my time. It's up to you."
Volknar gets up, stands in front of Harold, just like, why don't you tell us what's really going on? Very intimidating, like.
Go ahead and roll at disadvantage.
What's-
what? An intimidation check?
This is not
Yeah.
going to go well.
What's a disadvantage?
Disadvantage means you roll 2d20, and I take the lower.
If
of the
you
two.
so you see the box that you're gonna click.
Oh, oops.
The intimidation one?
If you right click it and then you can click disadvantage and it'll like do it for you. And then you click roll.
Say that again.
So you see the box that
Middle
you're gonna
column.
click, like for
I see.
intimidation. Like it says where the bonuses are.
Yeah, I see intimidation.
Yeah, if you right click the number
Okay.
that's next to intimidation, and then you click disadvantage, and then click roll, and it'll do like the disadvantage roll for you.
That's not bad.
Nice.
With 15 with disadvantage, damn.
And so, okay, so this half-orc figure looms up, and you say, "Tell us what's really going on." And at first, the guard sort of looks like, "Why would I do that?" And then he kind of just looks exasperated, and he goes, "Look, it's honestly the gang wars between the Xanathars and the Zents. That is all that's happening. Our understanding is that a few of these guys ran out of the Night in Shadow and attacked these Xanathars that were walking down the street. I don't know anything more than that. And please, just let us do our jobs. You're clearly a bunch of adventurers. I don't care if you end up killing 1 or 2 of these guys. Just move along."
Harry shrugs and falls back to the rest of the group.
Yeah, Alistair looks satisfied and just like nods and he's like, "Let's get moving, boys."
Volkar's
this-
satisfied with Harry's disposition that he's ready to move on.
Is this the way? Do we have to go this way to get to the place we want to? Or can we go around?
You can definitely go around. So the officer pointed you towards Presper Street in particular, but you could go back to Fish Street and then to the south. You could.
He was looking at that sketchy bar. Maybe we should go to that bar.
You want to go to the bar?
Yeah, go check it out.
I go to
The
the bar
place,
that
the
told us
place
not to go?
where the murder originated. Is that what you're?
Why would we go to the bar? Yes, this question.
That was directed at
Anybody?
Vulcan. wanted to go
Because they were looking at the bar sketchily. The cops were. They told us to stay at a certain locations, and they looked at that bar. So let's go to that bar.
Just
Yeah, is anyone is it open? Is anyone standing guard? We just walk in?
Alistair, like, pulls up one of the coins. He's like, "Why don't you try to make some coin, mate?" It's like, "The coin's this way, not that way." And just points towards wherever the skewered dragon is, that direction.
Yeah, back to the south.
I don't want to get caught up in these gang warfare, these ruffians. I'd rather just go and find my target, the quarry.
And so the Night in Shadow wasn't. It was open. It looked to be ilk of a certain demeanor with each other who were entering. Friendly, but in a sort of like overly backslappy sort of manner. And so you suspect that they all knew each other.
So it's like an inside club. Like, this is for a gang, probably this
It's a
bar.
biker bar.
You get that feeling for sure.
Alistair
Yes.
was trying to persuade the group
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
Uh,
me,
back to the
me
mission.
too. Yeah, me
Let's go to
too.
the docks.
Okay.
Head to the docks.
Okay. Would you like to take basically probably what you assume to be the shortest way via Presper Street, which is described by the watch?
Yeah,
Whoever
we would take the detour.
whoever's directing us, Alistair would follow them for the shortest way.
Harry would go the way the guy directed us.
Okay. Harold, go ahead and just roll another. You can actually roll an advantage for this at this point for directions.
You want history or survival?
Either one, whichever you'd like.
History's better, so I'll take history.
Your big brain.
Ooh, nat 20.
All right. So as you begin walking down Snail Street, and now that you've been reminded of Presper Street, and all these memories are sort of rushing back of the years that you've spent in Waterdeep, you know that the best way to go is across through Presper Street, as the city guard was telling you, down Ship Street, through Dar Alley, and over across Snail Street again onto Fillet Lane, which would basically dump you out onto the other side of where this altercation had occurred that they've cordoned off. And so you guys begin heading that way. And along the way, let me just find one thing.
Harry looks back at Alistair and says, I know a shortcut. Follow me.
So you make your way without issue. And you take all those turns as I described. And you cross Snail Street. And as you're walking down Fillet Lane, the beginnings of Fillet Lane, you begin to notice a strange sight. And it all catches your eyes. And it catches your eyes, and it's hard to draw it away for a moment. Tall, densely packed tenements leave most of the neighborhood in shadow at ground level. Most of the street lamps have had their glass smashed and their candles stolen, and the smells of salt air and excrement linger as you pass by rows of rundown buildings. So you've entered Fillet Lane, and one nearby shop stands out from the others. It has a deep purple facade, and in the window hangs a stuffed beholder. Above the door hangs a sign whose elaborate letters spell out old Zoblob shop. Across from this, on the right, from where you stand, is the Skewered Dragon, which is literally like the symbology of this tavern is that of a dragon with a large lance driven through it. And so you can see that there's like a heroic figure standing on top of the dragon, poking the lance down into it.
Okay.
That's us, Moats. Let's head that way.
We're going Australian, have we?
Yeah. It's changing throughout the night.
I've never heard of such a land, Australia.
Okay. All right.
But
So you-
Transylvania. Yeah, we entered the Skewer Dragon.
Okay. Entering the Skewered Dragon. The Skewered Dragon looks like a ruin. Both of its front-facing windows are smashed, and a ship's anchor is lodged in the roof. Through the windows, you can see a group of haggard patrons drinking from huge tankards. They mostly seem like sailory types, fishermen, dock workers, laborers. Pretty working class folk, sort of just like tossing each other copper for gambling with cards. And none of them seem to be like really making money or earning money off of the others. They're just like killing time with their gambling. And they all kind of like glance up at you, kind of give you a look over, shrug, keep going about their business. There is a old dwarven woman working the bar in particular. Most of the folk here are human, though there is one pretty scarred up dragonborn in particular. And he seems friendly with the rest of the patrons, but other than that, nothing of note.
You said there's a bar lady.
Yes, yeah, an old dwarven woman.
Okay. I think the first person we should talk to is her, right?
Volkner goes up and orders a drink from her.
Okay. And she gives you, like, they basically just have ale or port. And she goes, whoa, which one? Ale or port?
Ale.
Okay. And she grabs a pretty hefty looking pewter tankard, just like the others, pours you what's clearly a relatively watered down lager of some sorts, passes it over. Oh, 3 copper.
I say, fuck that, I'm not paying.
Oh, jeez.
Who carries copper in their pocket? I carry only gold and silver.
So at these words, between the fuck it, I'm not paying, and then the comments about only carrying gold and silver, the bar kind of goes quiet. So this hush over looks over the bar, and the heavily scarred dragonborn goes, "Y'all paying the skewered dragon? Y'all hear?" And he sort of like spits on the ground.
I
Harry
want to
walks out the door and goes to the Zubu place across the
the
street.
Zomblong.
So you want to go into old Zoblob's shop?
Yeah, after I hear that, Harry leaves.
Blah 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 place.
Okay.
Not part of this
Alistair's
group.
been by the entrance this whole time, just leaning on the wall, watching.
I
Okay.
think Aerith wants to try and save this.
Zeus just kind of shoots Aerith and Vic, or not Vic, Volknar, a dirty look. Goes up to the serving lady, pays her, and says, "Sorry for my friends."
I
They
have
just kinda
more
dip.
than I have more than copper to offer. If you can give me information.
And she goes, "I think it's going to take more than copper to get back to a stable footing after that, friends." She sort of looks Volknar up and down. I assume you're like drinking this beer at this point.
Yeah, I'm just drinking it right in front of her face.
Okay.
How about
And
one
so,
of these?
what do you offer, Aerith?
I bring out a gold.
Okay. So you bring out a gold. Can I please get a persuasion check on whatever you're going to ask?
Okay. God, I'm
Doesn't
not
matter
good
what
at
it is.
persuasion. Oh! What a roll.
Nice.
What a roll. Okay, so what is it you would like to ask as you hold up the gold coin, the gold dragon?
Basically, I ask after the description of Floon, was it?
Yep.
And I just want to ask, when was the last time that she may have seen him? If there was anything of note, did anyone take him out, carry him out, or what happened that night?
Gotcha. So this old dwarven woman kind of looks up because you're ever so slightly taller than her, and she takes the gold dragon, puts it between her teeth, and she goes, "Well, I'll be a real dragon." And she sort of puts it in her apron, and she gives the scarred dragonborn, and you notice that he is a black dragonborn, dark skinned, scaly dark skin, and he sort of nods and he sits back down, and everybody sort of just begins to go about their business once more. And she looks at you and goes, "I remember that one. Loon, you call him? All I remember are, well, first it was two, well, it was three different people, but in two groups of two. So there was Floon and the author who didn't seem to have a quill or a book in sight. They played cards with some of the regulars here, and they seemed to have a jolly good time. And then, well, the author the author got drunk quite quickly off of only maybe 2 or 3 tankards of ale, and he left his friend here, who clearly wanted to have a good time still. But it was lucky of him because his other friend, and she begins to describe this other individual, who was also quite uh, quite handsome, young 30s, late 20s, early 30s. Probably a noble, potentially a noble, just by the way that he was dressed in a similar fashion to Floon. This other gentleman showed up, and he drank a significant portion of the night away with Floon. And so she describes these two individuals, and she goes, "I think his name was Renaer, Renaer, Renaer." Um, and frankly, I think that somebody said something along the lines that he was the son of an important noble. I'm not totally sure. And at this, one of the other patrons sort of shouts over, "Chip off the old block, that one," kind of sneeringly. "Another spoiled rich noble who likes to rub our noses in it." One of the card players goes, "Aye, but we won a few coppers off him," and a few of the guys are starting to laugh at like the table of guys playing cards. The dwarven woman gives him a knowing smile, and she turns back to you all. "But it was strange. I definitely remember seeing a few gentlemen, 5, 6 of them, seem to enter and then follow them out as they left. And
What
this would
did
have
they
been, oh
look
gosh.
like?
Oh, well, they had snake-like tattoos. They were pretty heavily guarded. Some even had cloaks over their heads. And it was one of those things where I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that you're asking questions, it does seem strange. They had snake tattoos on their hands. That was the one thing I remember.
Does this match the description of a Xanthar Zent tattoo, like normal tattoos?
Um, it would have, it would match the description of the branded symbol on the knight and shadow that you walked by the tavern.
Oh, okay, okay.
The guy at the first one was a eyeball,
Correct.
Xanathar. Just because we're talking about symbols, do any of us know what the Zent, what kind of symbol is from either before or since all these encounters?
You do not,
Okay.
based on this. And that's not something like Harold would have known either as a
Yeah.
Waterdeepian necessarily.
Okay.
I'm actually going to switch really quick to uh, Harold, because you wanted to walk into old Zoblob's shop, or is that right?
Yeah, I went into the Zoblob shop by myself.
Cool.
Unless Alistair followed me.
He stayed to see what would happen with this the bar situation.
Gotcha. Okay, so you enter where there's like a little tinkle of like a tiny little bell. And the shop looks like it should probably be closed, but it's open, even though it's dark out at this point. A cloud of lavender scented purple smoke trails out of the shop door as you enter. Every wall is painted purple, and every knickknack, or every dusty knickknack on the shelves is dyed a deep violet. A hairless gnome sitting cross-legged on the counter wears plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple-faced painted eyes. The gnome lowers his pipe and exhales a cloud of lavender smoke before raising a hand. Hail and well met. Come browse the shelves of the most curious curiosity shop in the world. Sort of waves his hand towards everything.
You got a thing for purple, huh?
Oh, I love it, I love it. I like to think in a past life I was purple. Mind you, this is a deep gnome with dark gray skin.
Yeah, let's go. What do you got going on in here? This place is oddly unique.
Oh, it's quite the location. Um, so you can see effectively like an assortment of trinkets. Um, anything that you would find pretty much like in the player's handbook for like odds and ends, bells and whistles. Everything is purple, like literally everything. Some of them have funny names like the purple cat's whistle, that sort of thing. Uh, and they are all priced strangely. So like the whistle in particular would be 4 gold pieces, where you know that that is like 4 gold pieces is, you know, roughly speaking, like $200 in comparison to like real world. So a purple whistle for that much is like comical on some in some sense, and yet you suspect that because it has the Zoblob mark on it, which is the painted eyes on one side. It's probably the sort of thing that like nobles like to get each other either as a joke or maybe even seriously.
Sounds like high fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
All right.
Purple is a
Ha-
symbol of nobility.
um, yeah, Harold would ask, do you get many visitors in here? We're actually, me and my friends were looking for one of our friends. It's a pretty young lad.
Okay.
Gone missing.
Go ahead and
Kind of
roll
describes him a little bit.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Uh, persuasion. A 3.
Um, the gnome kind of says, "Oh, I mean, we have plenty of customers in here every day." And he goes, "As you can see from all the empty spaces on the shelf," and glancing around, there's not like everything is filled out on the shelves. Um, you doubt that he actually sells very much of this per day. But that being said, he does not seem to have any information for you in particular.
Well, I'm a wizard, you see. My name's Harry. You got anything cool that would be fun for wizards?
Oh, yes. And you can see that he now gets up from his cross-legged position and goes behind the counter. And he's a little tall for a deep gnome, about 4 feet tall, which is a little higher than you would expect. But he goes behind the counter and he pulls out what is apparently a bag of sand. And he goes, "Come, look at this." And he opens it up and it's just like this, like glittering purple sand. And he goes, 500 gold. Use it to replace any spell component that you might need.
Fascinating.
Purple glitter dust. Make a insight check as well.
Insight. Yeah. 13.
Okay. He's totally trying to con you.
Yeah. Harold's not being conned, but he actually does want something. Alright. Harold will ask him if he's got anything within his budget.
And what is your budget in particular?
Let me see. 27 gold.
So he goes, within the budget. No, I do have. He begins to poke around. He goes, I guess I have this old spell scroll that I could hand over. And he looks at it and goes, magic missile? 25 gold, a bargain.
I already know magic missile, but that being said, how about that whistle?
The whistle?
Yeah.
As you wish. Yes, 4 gold for the whistle.
All right. And so Harold would toss him 5 gold dragons and say, "Do you remember anything about missing guy?
He kind of
About
takes
my
the
friend?"
he takes the 4 gold pieces and puts them to one side. Takes the 1 gold piece and the gold dragon and puts it in his pocket. And he goes, "Now that you say that, I do remember a gentleman that matches your description and another well-dressed fellow of similar appearance. They were jumped right outside the shop. They were heading in some direction. They looked to be rather sloshed. And I believe there were about 4 or 5 attackers. And they grabbed them and ran off down towards Ship Street or Fish Street or somewhere else."
Ah, that was my suspicion. Did they come in here at all, or did you just happen to see this attack outside?
Oh, it was as I was fully closing up the shop. I keep the shop open during the hours where purple is most visible in the sky.
That's my favorite time too.
Oh, as a connoisseur of purple, it's good to meet another. And you can see he's like back up on his perch, cross-legged, puffing away as a Cheshire cat.
And Harry will blow the whistle to kind of like test it out. Beep, beep, beep.
It's not great. It's like a tin whistle, shrill, not wonderful.
Harry looks disappointed, visibly. Lets the
And
purple man know that he's disappointed in his whistle. And says, "Good day to you, sir. Good luck. Luck with all this purple stuff." And exits the building.
an old Zoblob sort of nods and goes, "Oh, good day, sir." Door tinkles as you walk out it again, and you notice that your friends are still in conversation back at the bar. And so you've obtained the information at the bar. Everyone else, is there anything else you would like to do?
So just, I guess Harry's gonna walk back to the bar at this point. You said, and he'll stand opposite of Alistair. Or actually, he'll go stand next to Alistair, like by the door, and hand him a whistle.
What the fuck is this?
I got it for you. Found out our boy got jumped outside. We got to go to that bar, the sketchy bar, once you guys finish up here.
Well, I guess a boy could have used this. And he holds up the whistle and smiles.
Yeah, you're right, Alistair. Maybe you should hold on to it in case you need it.
I think I'll be all right. He just like flips it like with his thumb in the air towards you like a coin.
Harold catches it,
Okay.
puts it in his pocket.
Yeah. And we come back from talking with the woman because we basically got the same information, right? The dwarven woman. Yes. So to that bar.
I think so.
Faulkner
Okay.
pounds his drink and he's ready to go.
I'm glad to see you guys made it out of there unscathed. Thought you really blew it in there for a moment, but good job.
We all pull off saves every once in a while, you know.
Volknall
I-
gets results and a buzz.
Yeah, and I used my charms on her.
You
You
did
should have
your
seen it.
due diligence, AA Ruff.
Do not call me AA Roth. It is A Roth. Do
I
not
don't-
get it twisted.
Alistair raised an eyebrow and goes, "His charms, you say?"
Wait, what'd you say?
He's just raising an eyebrow at him saying they use charms. He gets a kick out of that as all.
Yeah, you seem very charming.
Oh, well, yes, I used my charms, my He's like like sharp, ugly beak, monstrous looking bird man. Yes, my chomps. Now let's go.
All right, let's head to down the street to Snake Bar.
Okay. So as you leave Fillet Lane and come back to Snail Street, um, instead of going back the way that you came, you're now able to effectively walk through what was the crime scene. There is a cart that has come for the bodies. There is another cart that is going in the opposite direction towards the city jail. And you can see one of the three men sort of looking out the back of this, like, it's a paddy wagon, at the crowds as they go by. And as they do so, the other cart begins to go off towards the city morgue in a different direction. And there's blood on the street, but the city watch aren't there to clean that up in particular. That's you, Harold, you in particular know that it's the Sweepers Guild would clean the streets. And so they'll come by at some point, probably paid by the city or the local business owners, to clean the blood off the pavement, sidewalk. You head up Snail Street towards the Night and Shadow. Um, and there's people mingling about. It's a beautiful summer's evening, 9 p.m. at this point, and you are now standing outside the Night and Shadow. It's getting rowdier by the minute. There's probably 20, 25 folk inside, 5 to 10 mingling. They're going back and forth. The windows are all open because it's such a beautiful night. It's pretty rowdy. You see that most folk are keeping quite a distance as they go by the bar. Some so far as to going onto the other side of the street. Carefully, mind you, considering the traffic is heavy in Waterdeep at different times of day and night. And you find yourself standing outside. What would you like to do?
Huddle up, boys. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna approach this?
I'm not sure if we want to enter swinging.
Well, no, surely not. We need information.
Let's beat it out of them.
Victor agrees.
You want to lure one of them down an alley and strong arm them? I have
Yes.
I could do something magical to maybe lure them one or two away, or we could jump them, or we could just go into the bar and see what happens. Might not let us in. Might not be welcome.
Why can't we go in?
They don't look too welcoming. I mean, we can try.
Do
You
they
don't
have
wanna
snake
go in?
tattoos on their hands?
Many of them do have snake tattoos on their hands, and that is openly, like, you can see that to the point where, as you look around, you realize that some of them, many of them, are wearing some sort of, not like leather working gloves, but like tight leather fit gloves, and many of them seem to have taken off one glove. Might be their left hand, might be their right, to specifically show a snake tattoo on their hands.
Who of the group would Harry think would most fit in there? It would probably be GK, I would think, right?
Make a insight check just based on looking at Victor or Volknar.
Yeah, insight. Yep. 17.
That's pretty good. You're gonna think, sizing them both up, taking a look at the crowd. You think both of them could pass as a potential Zent if you wanted them to in some way. Although the obvious problem is a lack of a tattoo, as well as the fact that they kind of look like adventurers, what with their gear.
Yeah. So after seeing Volkner's display of brashness not too long ago, I think he's gonna grab Victor's hand, and he is
We're
going
gonna
to
hold
cast
hands.
Yeah, we're gonna hold it. No.
No,
This is
I'm
Victor,
fucking
not you.
holding Victor's hand.
What?
I'm holding
I'm
Victor's hand
holding.
and I'm walking up to them. And then we're gonna grab their hands, and all three of us are gonna walk away and we're gonna pull them into an alley.
Alright, no, we're not
What?
doing that.
Let's hear what Harry
What
Harry's
is
let's
happening?
let's hear what Harry's thinking. Let's hear what Harry's thinking.
Well,
What is
Harry
this?
Harry grabs Victor's hand. Do I have any I put whatever rations I might have in my pocket. At least have an apple laying around or something. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
yeah,
him
that's
some
fine.
sort of food parcel.
Mm.
Maybe a ration of some sort.
Here's a
And
cookie.
then
Go sit in the corner.
Victor
yeah,
hungry.
and then I'm gonna put it in his hand. Then I'm gonna flip it over so his like whatever palm is down, right? So what's the other side of your hand? Up.
Back of your hand.
Yeah, the back of your hand. And I'm going to cast a cantrip that I know called Prestidigitation.
So
And
Prestidigitation.
yeah, that one. And what it is gonna do is I can put a mark or a symbol on an object surface for 1 hour. So I want to put the snake tattoo onto Victor's
Nice.
hand and tell him to knowing that he's a little simple-minded from the limited interaction we have. I'm just gonna tell him to go in there and see if he can figure out who took our friend by telling everyone that you were, see if there's anyone bragging about it, or see if he can figure out if anyone is talking about that person and figure out what group got him and send him in on like a solo mission, and then hand him purple whistle and say, things get dicey. Just blow the whistle.
Victor would say, you sure this is a good idea?
Got your
Volkner
back,
says
buddy.
no. Volkner
Got
says
your
he
back,
is
buddy.
going with Victor, no matter what.
Do you want a tattoo too then?
Okay.
Alright, then Harry casts the cantrip again and puts one on his hand. You guys can
Okay.
go in together.
Victor would ask, anybody good at not telling truth?
Alistair, like having watched all this, he's like, "What's going on here?"
Harry
I know
want
what's going
Victor to go in the tavern and pretend to be a tattooed man.
Volkner with Victor.
You guys will fit right in.
Alistair raises an eyebrow and looks at Harold, and then is like, "What are you trying to do here?"
Infiltrate and get some information without being trash. If me or you walked in there, they'd
We
kick us
need to
right out.
pick. We need to pick
Or
someone who
these
can
bird
lie.
people over
Not,
here.
not. I don't want to go in, but we need to pick someone who can lie.
Alistair has a disguise kit. Can he touch up the tattoos at all to make them look more believable?
Yeah, Alistair, can you just give me a quick perception check in particular?
Sure. 13.
Okay. So you have currently stayed out of general sight of the Night in Shadow, though you are currently all standing on the street, sort of across the street, but far away enough not to necessarily be super noticed as you're casing the place out. You get the feeling, though, that you should probably do this out of sight somewhere. But yes, you can use your kit as needed.
All right. Alistair sort of like waves the crew over and is like, "Come here, quick," and just points down an alley away from sight.
Yeah. Yep.
And
You
then
head down. It's Troll Crook Alley, and it's sort of like around the back.
and then he just sort of like yanks Victor and Volkner over and is like, "Come here," and just like grabs like where the tattoos are and just starts touching them up.
Volkner's
Roll a
like, stop
deception
touching
check.
my hands, freak.
Oh,
And then
let
he
him
just
do it,
sort of like
Volkner.
he yanks their arms like, "Look, we need a bit of information. I need you guys to play along." He just sort of like nods at him.
Volkner nods back.
What do we?
They could get lots of food and drink for this, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
What information do we need?
Volkmar
And then
takes out a piece of chicken that he grabbed from the bar earlier and starts eating.
Victor, very smart.
and then Alistair will then re-describe the descriptions of the two people we're looking for, Floon and his friend.
Yeah, just see if, but basically, like, just try to see if you can see anyone talking about, like, this seems like a ransom job of some sort. Two well-off looking folk with money got kidnapped and beat up. So I bet you they're bragging about it. Go
And
in
then
and have a drink.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
and then once he's done touching up their tattoos and like the rest of the group sort of like heads back in that direction, Alistair will go through his kit and try to fashion something they can throw together.
Okay. Can I get 2 deception checks from you, please? One for the hands, so touching up the hands, essentially you're adding to their illusion.
Okay.
And then one for yourself as well, please.
Okay.
This is for the hands. It's actually, that's not like a bad thing necessarily because you're adding on to something that already exists.
Yeah.
And go ahead for yourself. Okay. And so you can give yourself a similar looking tattoo. It dries relatively quickly. You know that if it's really inspected, it's
Yeah.
not going to pass muster whatsoever. Like, people would see that it's paint and it's like potentially cracked, for example. So you got to keep your
Okay.
hand, not flexed, or you have to keep it in like a similar position so that the paint doesn't crack too much on it.
Okay.
In general, you think you can pass for one of these guys. You hand off a bit of your equipment to the others as is necessary so that you're not carrying full adventuring backpacks. The rest of you, what would you like to do before they go in, before they enter? What would you like to do while they are inside?
Did you say there was any other shops around?
So
There is that
nearby,
brothel.
so
There's
that's
a
back
brothel.
up by the yawning portal in particular. In
Yeah,
this area, you're really at the intersection of Snail Street, Fish Street, and they come to a T. And so Snail Street goes north south, and then Fish Street juts out to the west. It's mostly tenements, and there might be a closed greengrocer, but other than that, nothing around the area.
We should keep an eye out for health
yeah. Then
potions if we see them,
then I'm
boys.
no, I'm not gonna go shopping.
No,
Harold
just
and
keep
is
an
gonna
eye out.
advise the other guys to
You guys, you guys should
kind of
just
keep
play
an eye
whatever
on the
game you
door
picked.
just in case.
You guys should just play a game. Like I have a dragon chess set. I can lend you guys my dragon chess set. You guys can just play dragon chess outside, watching the place
I'm
over.
gonna
Well,
keep watch,
is
but do it
there
sneakily. So
are there like there's like multiple floors to this building, right? Like two.
This would be a 2-floor tavern in particular, and you suspect that both floors are actually used as a tavern. Like the second floor is not an inn; it's just bar.
It's just all bar.
Yeah.
All bar all day, baby.
Okay. I think I want. I think I'll fly around, and if I need to like burst through a window to help, I'll be like flying around so I can just like quickly bust through one.
I thought we weren't
Okay.
allowed to do that because the
careful of
guard
the
asked us.
griffin guards.
Yeah, they asked us
Griffin.
not to fly around.
Yeah,
Maybe fly up onto a roof and hang out on a roof or something.
yeah, but I'm not like super high in the air, right? They're not gonna really notice me if I'm below the rooftops.
So yeah, you could definitely try to fly up and get on a roof, and you could attempt to do so stealthily, um, just to ensure that because it's gonna look suspicious regardless if somebody flies up onto a rooftop, and that would look suspicious both from the ground and the sky. Um, but you can absolutely do that if you want to.
Okay.
How stealthy are we trying to be?
I'm trying to be at least a little stealthy here. Okay, so I should roll some stealth.
Yeah, if you'd like to fly up onto one of the, do you want to go? Do you want to be in the alley still, or do you want to go back out into the street and fly up? Like, what's your?
I think I'm in the alley. I don't want to do it on the street.
Okay. And there's nobody else in the alley with you all right now at this time.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck,
Harry's gonna find
11.
a dark shadow to go watch the front door and provide support if shit hits the fan.
Okay, and you can do that. Go ahead and roll stealth for that as well. We'll go back to Aerith in a moment. And that leaves
Take a 10.
Sane. What would you like to do?
So we're just like staking this place out.
That's what I'm
Yes, that's-
doing.
I guess I should probably fly up on the roof too.
Go ahead.
I will stealthily go join my tribesmen
Okay,
with a 19 stealth check.
cool.
Nice.
So, Harry, you find a spot in the shadows in the door frame. Aerith, you fly up and you go a little higher than maybe desired at this moment. And you fly by an open window. And you can see somebody looking out and they look at you in surprise and you go over their heads and hear the window quickly shut. But besides that, nothing seems to happen. And Featherbottom, you fly up after Aerith, but you go by a closed window now. And so you both land on roughly the same area of this building. It's one building over from the tavern in particular, so you could theoretically hop up over onto the roof of the tavern if you would so like. No issue.
I'd probably stay on the adjoining roof and then like get low, try to get like half cover, stay as invisible as possible.
Okay. All right. 3 of you on the ground / about to infiltrate. What are you doing?
So just remind me again which gang this is. What was their symbol?
This is the
Those-
Zen. Yeah, this is the Zentrum gang, and their symbol is the this tavern has the branded symbol of the snake on it, and you can see the snake on their hands as well.
And yours as well.
Mm-hmm. But if it gets rubbed too much or if I fuck up, the jig is up for me.
So, Alistair's coming in with us.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I was like,
VVAs.
I wasn't gonna throw, but I wasn't gonna make it.
Victor,
Yeah.
you need to stop being a bitch.
Well, no, Victor's
Right?
willing to
You
go
were the
in. No, I'm saying
You were the first
Victor.
one that wanted to throw down against that troll.
Yeah,
You didn't
no.
want to talk to the troll.
Victor was just gonna walk in there and be like, "Hello, I am Tattooed Man, just like you." So, because he's pretty dumb. So,
Yeah, Alistair's gonna lead the way, I hope.
yeah. Well, yeah. So,
With his 2 henchmen.
what is it? Victor would say to Volknar, "Let's do this one. Do the talking."
Yes, I agree.
Alistair nods at
orcish?
both of them and then like wraps his arms around him. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do most of the talking. Let's go, lads."
Yeah.
And kind of just like tries to hide his hand behind him, like his shoulders as he's walking in.
Harry would just also remind him. Remember the whistle.
Victor nods.
Victor's got the whistle, right?
He's got the help whistle.
Okay. And so you all enter?
Yep.
Cool. Walking up to the front, 3 of you sort of strut at first. And as you get closer, some of the Zents glance over, and there are half-orcs, there are humans, there are dwarves, there's even a few half-elf mixed in with mostly human. And they sort of give you nods. They see the symbols on your hands. You are not challenged whatsoever upon entry. The tavern room is simultaneously drinking games, some sort of version of Flip the Clay Cup, but it's also just like rowdy drinking. So people are sort of like in minor brawls. There's like not boxing matches, but people are like squaring up against each other jokingly and then smacking each other in the face and like hugging it out. It's a pretty rowdy tavern in general. What would you like to do?
Volknar wants to fit in, and he wants to slap Victor to make it look like we're having a fun time. Looks like we're part of the gang.
Yeah. Well,
Alistair quickly dodges.
yeah. Victor is gonna slap back.
Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Victor if he's slapping man.
Oh yeah,
So,
Victor.
we should
Yeah, just
slap.
you know.
Yeah, you guys don't look out of place whatsoever in comparison to the other knuckleheads.
Alistair sort of just like, gives him like the rubs his like fist on the head. Oh, you knuckleheads.
Volknar slaps Victor. Victor goes down like a bitch.
Oh no, no, no. All right, you're on, Alistair.
Alistair looks around. He's looking for people of note.
So there looks to be a group of hired Zents at the bar who aren't joining in with all the festivities. There's like one bartender. He's like an older male gentleman, human gentleman. Um, he's pouring basically as many beers as he can as quickly as he can. Um, the tired Zents, there's three of them. Um, Besides that, there's nothing in particular of note from what you can tell. If you want to give me perception checks.
All of us are just Alistair.
Let's start with Alistair. Okay, so in this instance, so the tired Zents are talking to one another, and then as you are watching them talk, you actually see that there is one more person behind the bar. And they're a shorter looking dwarf, and they were sort of obscured by some of the tankards. And so as the barman moves the tankards and begins bringing them to other folk, you catch the top of this other dwarf's head. And it's none other, or sorry, it's this sort of like disgruntled looking dwarf with, he's got the snake head on his bald head. He's got it like tattooed across the entire length of his head. And he's talking to these gentlemen, these Zents, and he's clearly engrossed in whatever they're saying. And they seem almost to be deferential to him. They are potentially even like telling him something of importance based on their demeanor and the things that they're saying.
Alistair would like to sneak away and try to eavesdrop on this conversation.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for this. Victor and Volknar, what are you guys doing?
We just did our slap battle,
Yeah.
and now we're laughing. We're having a good time, and then we're just like, yo, let's get a drink.
Yeah, let's drink. One of us should keep an eye on watch Alistair's back though. So we're keeping an eye on Alistair, making sure, as long as he wants
Gotcha.
us to keep, as long as he wants to be seen.
I'm actually just going to interject and say, by doing the slap battle and trying to keep an eye simultaneously, you are effectively aiding Alistair. So Alistair, if you would like, you can get advantage on your stealth check.
Why not? I mean, I rolled pretty well, but might as well give her another roll. Okay, so the first one was better.
Okay, so 24. You are able to sidle up relatively close, and you actually kind of use Victor and Volknar as shields at first to sidle by, and you go by, and you are near this like area of the bar where like a bar back might like move drinks to and stuff. You're effectively shielded, and so you can listen in on the conversation. Victor
Great.
and Volknar, the two of you are able to get the attention of the barman, and he hands over beers pretty quickly to you guys. Seeing how large you are significantly bigger than he is. The conversation, Alistair. So you listen, and you only catch half of it, but you hear something about Squad 3 not showing up to relieve Squad 4. And so these guys describe themselves, you believe, as Squad 1 or 2, not totally sure. And you can hear a description of a warehouse. And they talk about a warehouse on Castle Lane. And they say, oh, I don't know, Squad 3 never relieved Squad 4, which means they either got the information they needed or they think they can break him, or it's not fully clear. And you can hear the dwarf gruffly say, "Give him another hour or two, and then you guys go get Squad 1 and Squad 4 and go over there together. I'd rather know exactly what's happening before I have to go talk to M." And they kind of all nod, and they're like, all right, we're gonna go. Oh God, we gotta get some bean juice in us before we head out." And the dwarf goes, "Pick these," and you can see that he hands over these small little potion vials, but instead of potions, they've got needles at the end, and they go, "Oh, full strength, excellent." And they seem to all take them and sort of like put them in a pocket. The needles are clearly capped with some sort of wax to protect against the actual needle itself until it's needed. But they all seem to pocket them, and then they all stand up, and you're able to duck out of sight just in time, Alistair, and they walk out. Victor and Volknar, you both notice them walk out. The dwarf seems to begin pouring beers again. You have finished your tankards of beer. What would you guys like to do?
Can we meet up with Alistair? Can he tell us what has been said?
Oh yeah, is Alistair still sneaking?
Currently,
Yeah, we don't want to blow his. We don't want to just walk over and blow his. If he's still.
They all just left though, so it's fine. The people
Yeah.
I'm sneaking from are gone. So
Okay, yeah, well, I guess we'll shuffle over to Alistair then and see what's up.
So I guess
And-
Alistair tells us what's going on, and we should be like, you should go up to him.
Alistair would just sort of lean into the boys and say, "I found out a little bit, but might not want to talk here." And then gives him a wink.
Yeah. Okay. Did we?
It's like
Did
we
yeah,
saw those two guys leave. Should we follow them?
yeah? Did we get the information we came for? It's
I mean, we got something. I'm not sure what. Might want to talk to the other
Okay.
ones.
Okay.
But I don't know how much we should be asking around here.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
we should just take what we can get.
All right. Well, you take the lead here, Alistair. Well, if you need us to attack someone, you just give us a nod.
Let's pay for these drinks and go.
Okay.
And we don't pay.
No, we're paying. No, you can't. You get us
And
murdered.
we don't pay.
Yeah.
We walk right out.
Nah,
Irish could buy this shit.
how much is a drink?
It's normally like 2 silver in a place like this. It's not.
All right,
not
yeah. So we'll part ways with the silver. All right.
Volknar looks at Victor. You got this.
Yes, I will pay. Can
Were you also the one last time to fuck us up?
Volknar's a cheap son of a bitch.
Yeah,
This
and
is
we
GK's
don't
first
pay.
time.
Victor would ask Alistair if he knows numbers.
Alistair winks and just gives him a nod.
Do you know numbers?
Yeah. So
Helps him count out
Victor,
his,
yeah,
his
I was gonna
money.
say Victor's very slowly counting his money. Okay, yeah, he finds the 2 silver,
Takes the silver for himself
Yeah.
for the trouble.
finds the silver, and then pays the guy. So
Like Alistair helps him count it out, but then as he's doing it, just sleight of hand 1 silver in his pocket.
okay, so I'm down down the silver you gave me earlier. So is that what we're talking here?
Exactly.
Okay.
How many?
Alright.
How many
Volkner.
silvers in a gold?
10.
What?
10 silvers and a gold.
Okay.
Oh, so I can reduce my gold by 1 and add 10 silver.
Yep. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. Volkner
Math-
decides he's
math checks
actually
out.
he's gonna pay for the drink.
Are you sure you just don't walk out and then get him?
I think he was just too lazy to do the conversion math
I didn't-
before.
I didn't know if you could do that or not.
Yeah, it's like Terraria kind of a deal.
All right, so I'm down to 9 silver.
All right.
Okay. So you guys hand over the silvers. As you do so, you hand them to the dwarf. Can I please get deception checks?
From the two
All
meatheads.
three of you.
Oh, okay.
All or whoever's paying, excuse me. Whoever said they were paying.
Yeah, only one person needs to pay, right?
Okay.
21.
You guys are fine. So no issues with deceiving anyone with your tattoos or anything. You head out of the bar having paid, and you begin walking out. Those of you on the roof or in the shadows, you see your comrades. I won't call you friends as of yet, but your comrades walk out of the bar. And I assume that you would like to go join them?
Yeah, Aerith hops down from the roof. Did you get any information?
Harry's
That
not
was
gonna join quite yet. He wants to doesn't want to like run over right when they run out the door. They're gonna let him get down the street a little bit and then catch up.
Okay.
Yeah, Alistair would lead them to an alley.
Okay, so you guys
yeah,
will
that makes sense.
re-enter Troll Crook Alley around the corner. And you guys rejoin your full group once more, let's say.
Okay.
Once we're rejoined, Alistair relays the information he was able to snoop about Squad
Warehouse,
3.
you say?
Yes, Squad 3 switching with Squad 4, Warehouse Castle Lane, that it's happening in 1 hour, and that there was a mention of someone named M, and that they had some strange drugs with them. They called it bean juice. They're shooting it up.
Could we? Is there something I can roll to know about bean juice?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would that
Go ahead.
be?
That would be most likely a history check. Although I would listen to arguments for something else if you wanted to try to use a different skill.
Yeah, I'll go for history.
Okay.
I did not roll well on 9.
You don't know of bean juice in particular. You have heard of several different drinks across Waterdeep, but bean juice doesn't ring a bell necessarily at this time.
Bean juice.
Should stake out the warehouse.
Yeah, well, they'll be changing shifts in an hour, so
Yeah.
just gotta make sure that, we're not seen around that time because they'll be active.
Yeah, we should get there early and hide out.
In between
Stake it
shift
out.
change is all.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Would you guys like to head towards Castle Lane?
Yep.
Cool. So you head along Snail Street until you're able to begin to head in the direction of Castle Lane, which is, Harold, you know that it sort of lives between. Where does that live? It lives in another section of the dock ward in particular that you're able to lead them to. I just can't see it on the map quickly enough. And it takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to get there. And the streets here are pretty dark. Let me just read this. Gloom envelops a narrow alley as deep as a dungeon, and an odorous one. Nearly all the street lamps have been smashed. The only light that pierces the darkness is a faint flickering from down the lane, like a distant candle. And so this is Castle Lane. And towards the end of it, you can see what is clearly a large warehouse. Across from the street lamp in particular, that one street lamp.
Right down there, boys. Seems to be the place.
Let's do it.
All right, what do we want to do? Want to follow them in? You want to try to sneak in after they do their shift change?
Yeah, we want to keep a distance.
Should we cause a distraction by lighting something on fire?
Let's hold off on that.
You sure?
Yeah. Let us not light things on fire quite yet.
All right, I'm gonna go light something on fire.
Can your guy do fire this time around?
No.
God.
No fire, no summons.
Okay. So you're on this lane, you're across from the warehouse. It's a pretty deserted street. There is a beggar sort of coughing, like he's like wrapped up in blankets, even though it's summer, and he's sort of like coughing into them. He goes, "Spare coin? Oh, could use a drink."
Zoo would flip a copper his way.
Oh, thank you. And he sort of puts it under the blankets. Careful. There's a lot of strange folk going in and out of there. And he literally points at the warehouse that you guys are sort of walking by.
Then Alistair finally pays him attention. He's like, strange how?
I mean, not strange at all. And go ahead and make a perception check, Alistair. Okay, so you notice with that check, dirty 20 right there, that he glanced at your hand, which still has the tattoo, like the fake tattoo on it, and then go back to you and goes, not strange at all, sir. No, not strange at all.
I want to ask him if he's seen the red blonde hair guy.
Yeah, Alistair seeing this would just like lick his hand and then wipe it off and say, "Oh, don't mind this, mate," and give him a grin and then just be like, "I mean, like anybody who looks like they were brought there against their will." Kind of like look at him like knowingly.
Yeah, make a persuasion at advantage.
Persuasion at advantage.
Persuade that mother.
Did you just get that makeup on your tongue? Ew.
I like licked my hand to wet my hand as I wiped it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I thought you straight up licked the makeup.
No.
Okay, so after wiping the
Emerald
makeup
can
off,
also make the spell go away too, which should make everything disappear.
Well, you didn't use your spell on me. I only used my kit on myself.
You only use, true.
And the bulk boys.
Yeah, but I
You
mean,
touched them up.
but he used his spell for you guys. He didn't use it on me.
I was saying if I use my spell, like I can make your tattoos disappear. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, you can clean us with that spell.
All right, well I do it because I don't want our boys to be marked anymore. So
gotcha. So while this conversation's happening, you're also like cleaning their hands. The beggar kind of looks at you all, and after the copper, he goes, "Oh, you're not one of them." Yeah, I think that there were two gentlemen dragged in there the other day. But well, it's really strange. A bunch of other guys with circle eye tattoos then walked in, and there were a few Kenku with them, and then they had one of the men, and they ran away with him, and I don't know, the other one didn't come out, and the Kenkus never came out, so I don't know what happened. It didn't sound good though. I was a little drunk when it all went down.
You see
Harry would-
Alistair shaking his head, and he just goes, "More bird people."
yeah, Harry would butt in and ask
Yes.
the homeless man if he noticed how many, if he noticed if there were like shift changes.
Oh,
This place seemed to be guarded at all.
I mean, normally people are coming and going at all hours of the day. I don't know if to be frank, I forget what time shifts go on and off. He's sort of like laughing at
How
that.
about more? How about how many do they travel together, like in groups?
Usually like 5. He says he's seen sometimes up to like 8 or 9, but usually 5.
You know what I think? I think we should go in now.
Don't hate the idea.
Yeah. Victor would suggest we check to see how many ways there are into the building instead of just all going in the front door.
We should. If we wait for the shift change, there just might be more of them here. But if we take them all on now, then there should be less. Yeah, but I think with that, we'll start to look for different entrances.
Okay, so let me describe what the warehouse looks like really quick so you guys have a better idea of this. The warehouse stands at the back of an outer yard behind a high fence. The gate on the fence is clearly unlocked because it's like ever so slightly open. The building, from what you can tell, as you sort of walk around it, has 3 points of entry: a front door, a large warehouse loading door, and a painted over window. You have no idea if those are all necessarily locked or unlocked. Um,
Do we have
and
any
that's all
idea of
the.
like what the warehouse seemingly is supposed to be there for? Like face value? Like, is it serve a purpose?
There are
Is it
clearly
abandoned?
no. It doesn't look abandoned. There's clearly empty crates out front in the yard. There's like wheelbarrows or like not wheelbarrows, but like essentially like what would be those like hand forklifts that they use at like grocery stores or whatever, but like oldie time medieval versions of that. Um, and there are. It looks to be like an active warehouse, you suspect. None of the windows are broken. So start there, and up on so it like sort of comes around a corner on the street, and so on the street side before it goes around the corner, and the corner goes slopes downward into the yard. On the street side, it looks like there are offices. So you believe it to be some sort of shipping warehouse where they would like actually take stock of the items, account for them in the offices, and then move them onwards.
Alright.
And did that guy, the homeless person, say that there's like 5 dudes inside?
He
Or
So
said they travel in groups
he
of
traveled with groups of
5-ish.
5. Okay, so there could be more than 5. We could be walking into like a
5 to 9
And
is what
and
he
if it's
said.
a warehouse, I mean,
Yeah.
there should be just a bunch of people, like random people as well.
When did he say that the Kenku entered?
He said that the Kenku specifically entered with the other group of individuals, um, like humans, half elves, half orcs, like some sort of combination of that, and that the Kenkus have not left, but the others did with one other man, roughly fitting the description of Floon.
When did this happen?
That was earlier today.
Okay. So it could be a second group came in and took our man.
Moved him somewhere else. Who's the other
Yeah.
man? Is the other man
The noble.
Yeah,
They
one's the
Renair?
son of a noble, Renair.
they
So
both
where
sort of met the same description. The guy's unsure if the guy that the bum is unsure if the guy that left matches your description or not. To be clear.
Okay.
the
Because
one's
they're both.
there, one's on the go, one's somewhere else.
Let's
Gotta figure
bust
out which
in.
one's which. Well, we can send. How about we send the goon squad in?
The Goon Squad.
They're the ones.
Yeah, but you took
The
away our
Goon
fucking
Squad.
you took away our snakes tattoos.
Hey, I can put it right back on if you want to go do that again.
I mean, I'll go in with
like
Victor. Victor's
yeah, I
ready.
mean yeah, so Goon Squad going front door and everyone else
Just sneak in the back.
yes, sneak through a different
The docks or
entrance.
something.
And we'll
I don't know.
just
I think we need somebody with intelligence to like maybe help us through the front door.
you mean like well, I know
Someone to help you
out
walk.
of character, I
Is
know Zeusinar is quite the deceiver. I'm pretty sure, right, Mr. Featherbottom?
I am pretty good at deceiving.
So he could
Or
be
do you
like
want to be a businessman with your henchmen?
a
And
Bible
like go
salesman
like
or
walk
something.
in there, or do you just want to like pretend that you're part of the group, snake group, and walk in like you own the place?
Would
What are
I
you
be too
thinking?
out of place as a bird person?
Depends on
That
if
was
you
what I
can
was doing,
roll.
right?
If you can roll for it and pull it off, then you can
I
do
don't know.
anything you want,
Are
Mr.
there
Featherbottom.
are there bird people in the gang?
So I mean, theoretically, you know that Kenku are bird-like individuals,
Ah, there we
relatively
go.
similar to
You're in.
Aarakocra.
And do we know any higher ups in this organization? Anyone I could like name drop?
Definitely not from what you would know just in session, but like, other than M.
Yeah. Hey, maybe go up there and say you're looking for M. Or say you were summoned here by M. And
To
roll
take the
dice
prisoner to
yeah,
another
to take
location.
the prisoner. Yeah, dude, let's do it. It's
Yeah,
a
we could try it, and then if shit goes sideways, just fight our way out.
I do
Yeah.
not think this will go well.
Sounds awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
that does
awful. I
not
think
sound
that's
like a
kinda
good
nice.
plan.
You could be the changing of the guard. It's perfect. We can time it right. You guys be like, hey, we're group.
What if we just
B.
wait for the shift change and then we beat up
That's
the
what I'm-
guard and then we go in?
Yeah, that too. Well, there's like
Like,
5. That's what I asked about. That's why I asked about the numbers.
like
That was gonna be
beat
a
up the
problem.
incoming
I was
guard
gonna go lay in
shift.
a blanket at there and then just pop up and fireball their ass.
Yeah, that would make more sense if we beat up the guard shift.
Okay, so either way, I think should end it here for the night, and we'll pick
Maybe
up with
we
this.
can talk about it until next week.
Yeah,
Take a point.
planning is
Plan out our
acceptable
next
in this
moves.
case.
Yeah.
The only other thing before we fully call it for the night that I have is we've like played one session. What is that called again? Stars and wishes. Are there things people loved or anything that people wish would be different, wish change?
Honestly, not this early on. I think it was cool. We had a battle already. We had a little RP already. So
Cool.
I think for session 1, it's still getting our feet wet.
Cool.
Got no
Yeah,
complaints.
definitely good so far.
Yeah. Solid session 1.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good story. There's a little bit of action.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta actually maybe think about this story more than past. Gotta like pay attention more. It seems this is gonna be more like mystery driven, or not mystery, but
Yeah, that is
information
like
wise than it is just going fighting people. So
I definitely think that's true in comparison to most D&D adventures. But I would also say like there will be plenty of like tactical combat
I'm
stuff
sure. Yeah.
throughout.
Like even this trying to figure out like where to go, it was cool. We already went to like 2-3 different places trying to get information. So
Yep.
this is just another one. This warehouse. We gotta figure out a good plan.
I said we just beat up
Or
the
a
guard.
terrible plan, and then it'll
Or a
just be
terrible
awesome.
plan,
You
yeah.
know?
That's true.
When
I mean,
things go to shit.
you guys already ran one heist effectively, so you got in, you got the information needed, and you got out.
That's because I was slapping Victor.
Yeah. Next time we're doing a headbutt
We'll
fight.
go walk in. If they get suspicious, just start slapping each other again.
It starts-
It's foolproof.
You guys are just being a couple of beefy boys just slapping
Couple of
around.
It's
Yeah.
funny that you say
Normal.
beefy boys because I literally have in my notes as you guys were describing your characters, beefcake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
Beefcake.
definitely the Bash Brothers.
Gruesome twosome.
All right, everybody. Good game.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Talk to y'all next week and have a good week.